Welcome to the Dreamland. Hello, it's Mina. Hello. How are you doing, everybody? Hello, Arco. Hello, Gedeli. Are you guys doing good? Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello. Hello. Hi. Yeah, we back with this game again. This fucking game. This goddamn game. Ah! I don't even know what to say at this point. I am completely and utterly. Absolutely. Oui. Yeah, my life is ruined, and uh, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Life is tough and potatoes. Anyway, yeah. So last time we got extreme. Hello, Deviloni-chan. Welcome to the Dreamland. I forgot to start stream avatars. I actually remembered this time. Life is tough, Snum, not in Legends Arceus. No, don't remind me. That's so sad. Ah, Snum. The only real Pokemon. The only Pokemon ever. Hello. Sorry about that. Stream avatar should be connecting in just a second. Come on. There we are. There you are, everybody. Look at you. He's so cute. Okay. Thank you. At least I remember this time. That is indeed. Okay, let me just... Some stars for the family. There you go. Okay. Now we're actually gonna start playing. Life is... Okay, let's go. We are... Yeah, 16 to 4 to 5 p.m. 4 to 5 p.m. It's time. I don't even know. I guess I... Oh my god! Like, you poor thing! No, Minorikawa. I actually don't know. Minori Smoky. Yeah, he's smoky, he's smoked. Let's see what Kano's doing. I kinda wanna know what's going on here. You know. Some shit's happening. Just wanna make sure everything is okay. Yeah. Mike is okay. Oh yo. Picking up with Stanley probably. Definitely. Arriving back at the Shibuya precinct, Kano hurried to the interrogation room. Right! We were gonna figure out why Tateno let that guy go. With the investigation currently on hold, he knew that taking any official action would be tricky. If he was going to break through this stalemate, he was going to need Tateno's help. The abduction, the ransom, the attaché case relay, Maria's release, and then Tanaka's death. Maybe Tateno would be able to figure out how all these elements were related. But first, Kano needed to check something for himself. Tateno would never have let Alcarawan go free. Kano needed the prisoner to set the record straight. Alcarawan sat in the precinct interrogation room, looking brazen and cocksure. Is that a word? Okay. One glance at his face and Kano was reminded of what had happened to Sasayama. Fresh anger smoldered at the edges of his mind. There were two detectives already in the room. It seems he wasn't made privy to the details, one of them told Kano. Sounds like they were following orders, carrying that attaché case around, the other added. Kano sat down across from Alcarawan. There's something I'd like to ask you, he said. Were we just paid to do a job? I don't know anything more than that. His Japanese was imperfect, but he understood the language well enough. Tell me, how did you manage to escape from Detective Tateno? Escape? I didn't. Hello, Drifter! Welcome to the Dreamland! How are you doing? Are you having a good afternoon? I hope you are. I hope you are having a good time. Ooh, I love all of your little... I love all of your little avatars. They're so cute. Precious. And adorable. Remember to go down and pick your stream avatar down in the panels. A faint smile came across Alcarawan's lips. You let me go free. Liar! Detective Tatsuno will never do that. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. He's a good boy. He wouldn't. Kano slammed the desk with his fist. I didn't have a handcuffs on, did I? He took them off for me. This had to be a lie! Indeed, you're doing some cleaning. Ooh, it's always nice. It's always nice to get some cleaning done. If only it would stay clean. Nandana, thank you for the follow, Drifter. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice of you. It had to be a lie. Much needed. Yeah, much needed cleaning. I get that. It's not like there weren't other ways to remove a pair of handcuffs. After he took off the handcuffs, Arakawa continued, he pointed his gun at me. Cut the crap! Kano grabbed the prisoner by the collar. But Arakawa went on unperturbed. He kept the gun pointed at me, but he didn't pull the trigger. So that's when I ran. Why would Detective Tatsuno want to shoot you? I mean... because I saw him. Saw him? Saw him do what? Let me tell you something interesting, Arakawa said sardonically. It was the girl who was carrying the ransom, right? Nice to meet you, guy. Nice to meet you, Drifter. So how did you come about my channel? Tell us about yourself. How about you do that? We're all good friends here, you know. There was that girl who was carrying the ransom, right? Kano pictured Hitomi standing anxiously beside the statue of Hachiko. The guy Tatsuno was trying to kill her. Ah, he's the guy with the cane. I was kind of in thinking that might be her. That might be who he actually is. Oh, you're from Hootie's Discord. Welcome. Hootie's one of my very good friends. Hello, Koyaverse. Hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the dreamland. Oh shit! I totally forgot this. That's. Oh god, I totally forgot to. Thank you to Kimi for following, and thank you too for the follow. Let me just play that one too. Oh god. Oh no, I can't see you through the emotes. I think I need to make that shorter. That's like, ooh boy. I had to say hell to bot. Oh yeah. Right. I have a Discord. Okay, sorry for that. Thank you for the follow, and thank you to Jules. Okay. Those emotes are a bit much, but I kind of like it. And Augustus. You can kind of see it. Thank you so much for the follows. I appreciate it so much. It's so nice to have you guys here. So nice. In a fit of rage, Kano drove his fist into Arakawa-one's face. His colleagues rushed to interpose themselves. Kano be committing brutality, that's not good! Kano, calm down! Knocked to the floor, Arakawa-one gingerly fingered his split lip. And after I gave you such good info too, he grumbled. Detective Tatsuno was assigned to protect Hitomi Osawa, Kano shouted. You can't expect me to believe your rubbish! He launched around the table, ready to throw another punch, but his fellow detectives held him back. Oh, come on, dude. Kano, this is not a good look. Do not do this. Arakawa-one looked away indifferently. It's your Detective Tatsuno you should be arresting, not me. The girl's gonna get killed. You need to step in line, pal. Oh my god! Hello, Uncle Dionysus. Thank you so much for the follow. Wah! So I think it's time to change the name of the Dick Dictum to Kane Encyclopedia. Yes. But yeah, he's the guy with the cane. That makes so much sense. Thank you. Welcome to the Dreamland. Hello, Kimi. Welcome to the Dreamland. Hi, guys. Oh my god. It's so nice to have you here. How are your days? How are your days? Kano, his colleague shouted. You're the one who needs to step in line. Go and cool off for a bit. You know, right? Get out of here, you violent buffoon. Expelled from the interrogation room, Kano immediately pulled out his cell phone and called Tatsuno's number. Please pick up. He clutched his phone tight, pleading under his breath. But Tatsuno didn't answer. Of course he didn't. Ring! Oh god. Oh god. So nice. Oh god. This is not good. This is not good. Tatsuno didn't answer, just like, stop. Help. Kano sat down in a chair in the hallway in a bit of a daze. He found himself holding the present Sasayama had gotten for his wife. I have to do something. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. His restless gnawed at him like a rabid animal. Hey, Kano. You look— Kusei! In the flesh! He looked up to see Kusei standing beside him, his expression grave. I have an update on Sasayama, the director began. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. Seems the knife went deep enough to do some organ damage. He's in critical condition. I see. Kano bit his lip hard. His handkerchief, ripped with Sasayama's blood, clung to the wrapping paper of Sasayama's present. Kusei's baldness is extremely radiant. I know. Beautiful. Bald head. Ah, shiny. Kano peeled it away careful so as not to tear the paper beneath. Oh yeah, for anyone who's just coming in, I have sound redeems at both points and biddy, so if you want to do that, then you know where to find it. I finally fixed them, by the way. They've been kind of cursed since we started. I found out what the problem was, thank God. What's that? Asked Kusei. Sasayama had me hold on to this for him. It's a present for his wife.
Ooh woo.
Oh woo. Oh woo. I see. Yeah, I speak Japanese to like conversational extent at least, and yes, I am Danish. Like that's my first language. I'm sorry, Director Kusei, for ignoring your orders. Kano's eyes remained fixed on the gift as he spoke. When you get down to it, none of this would have happened if it weren't for me. Some kind of punishment was surely headed his way. Sass! Sass! Some kind of punishment was surely headed his way for acting alone as he had. He probably wasn't getting out of this one with a simple written apology. Okay, a written apology. When public servants are negligent in their duties of violate regulations, they can be punished with a warning, a formal reprimand, reduction in pay, suspension, or dismissal. In the case of a warning, in addition to the remonstration from a direct supervisor, the individual must also submit a formal letter explaining the relevant details and assuring that it won't happen again. See, you need to make proper apologies. You need to acknowledge what you did wrong. But Kusei calmly shook his head. What happened to Sasayama isn't your fault. Don't blame yourself, he said. As far as this case goes, I've been given quite the runaround myself. There's a rare note of vulnerability in Kusei's voice. Perhaps I've barely let any information trickle my way, but they're still ordering me around non-stop. It's a real pain in the ass. What a pain in the butt. Yeah, it is pretty nice. I've been learning Japanese as like a school subject for a long time. I'm also like self-taught for the most part. So, yeah. Kusei fell silent, ruminating. The quiet lingered between the two men for several moments before he abruptly spoke again. Lots of fun stuff coming in the— yeah, my anniversary is soon, for anyone who doesn't know. My anniversary is soon. And if you want to join for the community games on the 16th of February, go to my Discord. Because that's how we're going to set it up. Oh, right. I'd like to get your opinion on something. So, Mamoru Tanaka, who we found at the minivan, you know. What you think? Should we all maybe release his name to the media? Should we? Because I slipped into his childish register. He was clearly exhausted. After dealing with the kidnapper's baffling actions and too much meddling from the higher-ups, even a veteran like Kusei is just beat. But that's not the only reason for his exhaustion. Kusei has a brother, 6 years his senior, who despite being nominally mature, refuses to get a real job and shows no inclination to settle down with a family. He walks around town day after day, dressed like a hippie and treating passersby to songs he's written. Kusei has been worrying about his shiftless brother for years now. The guy's become a chronic source of consternation. RIP! Kano was thrown by the question. It was a rare thing for the director to seek an opinion from a mere junior detective. It feels like there's something not too normal about one of Kenshiro-sama's subordinates dying, Kusei went on. Kano had the same thought. I know, right? Like, how convenient that the guy would die. By the way, for anyone who does not know what's going on in this game, we're trying to stop a deathly pandemic from happening. It just felt too intentional to be a coincidence. So here's the question. Should I get the media involved and try to rush for a resolution, or should I be more cautious? What would you do? About releasing the name? Kano asked. It wasn't such a simple thing to answer. There's so many factors to consider. A tired smile came to Kuse's face. Think about it so hard. This is just so I have a point of reference. Tell me what your gut says. I don't know. Something even more deadly than the Ebola virus. Yeah, exactly. It's like very like huge conspiracy kind of vibes. You know what? I don't know. I don't want to know. I won't know. I can't make that decision, sir. Kanuhis was in no state to make a good call on something this serious. The sad truth was that all he could think about was Sasayama and Tateno. I see. Glad to ask you such an awkward question. Not at all, sir. Kano dropped his eyes to the blood-spattered gift box again, and Kusa headed back towards the conference room. On the TV, the governor's press conference was still going on. Jesus Christ! He's having a long day too, huh? I've just requested that each of the railroad companies, starting with JR, stop running trains through Shibuya Station until further notice. I mean, it's like, when I say, I mean like not a conspiracy theory, I mean like there's a huge like underground sort of terrorist or like operation going on kind of vibe. That kind of conspiracy. You know? Like, okay, so to explain a little more, it's a concept of like, this story is centering around the Ua virus, which is the virus that the game follows, being used as a biological weapon. And as such, you know, there's like a huge incentive, for it not to get out, because like within 12 hours, you can't save the person anymore. Like, if you don't give them an antiviral within 12 hours after infection, they're dead. They're just dead. Yes, there was. I can definitely see that, I can definitely see some of that sort of the, what can you say, like the consciousness of having been involved, like having been in a country that had such a public case of such a thing happening. You're probably I'm assuming you're talking about the Shinjikyo, which was, yes, they tried, I think it was, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they released some gas in the subway, I believe. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think, yeah. This game is from 2008, and I actually, the poison gas, sarin gas. That was in 1995, yeah, so. Releasing gas on people doing it daily. Yeah, so I can definitely see how such cases would, but yeah. In this case, it's sort of the fact that Japan has, in this case, Japan has the only developed antiviral, and as such, having that antiviral in your possession is also a huge biological weapon, right? Because that's the only thing that can cure people once they're infected, so having control over that is very, you know, significant. And what happened in this story is that they kidnapped, so the guy who developed the antiviral, he has two twin daughters. His first daughter, Hitomi, was infected with the Ua virus, so that he would take her down to his lab and give her the antiviral. And now that she has been given it, it is in her system, and therefore she was abducted, so that they can, like, reverse engineer the antiviral from her. And additionally to this, his other twin daughter was also abducted. Well, they're trying to abduct Hitomi, they haven't yet, but his other daughter was abducted, Maria, and they infected her with the Ua virus and released her. She is going around in Shibuya right now, and we have 4 hours, and all of Shibuya is dead, because the stock that they have of antiviral is not enough for the entirety of Shibuya. So, Shibuya is dead, if we don't get her. And at the same time, the one of, like, the only way they have into the lab, yeah, the only, and Tanaka, who was one of the people needed to get into the lab because it's like super highly secure and shit, He's dead! So they can't get to the antiviral, and this means that we have to capture Maria and let her die in isolation, which is terrifying to me. This is gonna be, it's gonna be so bad. As far as the roads go, Route 246 has already been close to traffic. The executive looks pale as he spoke to the crowd. Is there any possibility of a bioterrorist attack? What about the people who are still in Shibuya? The reporters unleashed a barrage of questions. The governor's face scrunched up. As I've already made clear, this is not a complete blockade. There's nothing to stop anyone from leaving Shibuya on foot. Okay, because modern Japan does not have a system for enacting martial law, there are few ways that the government could effectively quarantine Shibuya. In the case of a potential viral infection, the infectious disease law allows the city to be partitioned into areas of restricted movement. If the authorities do not want to acknowledge the existence of the top-secret Ua virus, however, taking such an action would be rather tricky legally. Oh, I can see that. Isn't what you're describing de facto martial laws? spat one reporter. Yo, Eddie! Welcome to the Dreamland! Hello! Welcome. And I will see you, oh Devil Oni-chan. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a good rest of your day. We are in a crisis right now. Of course not, the governor snapped. Oh. You should be well aware that martial law is illegal. I couldn't declare it even if I wanted to. If you wanted to. So this is a bioterrorist issue then. I never said anything of the sort. The press conference was devolving into chaos. God damn it. Thank you. Thank you for the follow, Atty. I appreciate it. Welcome to the sheepies. I hope you have a good time in the Dreamland. It's a good time. Man, press conference is devolving into chaos. I don't know. Lol. I wouldn't know, lol. I bet I thought I already followed. It's okay! Thank you so much! It's called press for a reason. Yeah, you're under fucking pressure, bro. Kano was unsurprised given the circumstances. Still, everyone was doing their best and so far they knew how. So why not me? Kano thought. Doesn't matter what I do. I just want to be doing something. Just letting time tick by without trying to take action was more than he could bear. Kano... Oh, I don't even know. I want to go see Sasayama. Kano was worried about Sasayama and decided to visit him in the hospital. I'll just see. We can always change our options later. It's always the question. Hana! Hello! As he was making his way toward the hospital, Kano spotted a girl sitting on the pedestrian overpass. She looked like she was on the verge of tears. Concerned, he stopped beside her. For Kano, Rumi's like, who territory now? Wild Hana, I know, right? Hana and the wild. Are you waiting for someone? He asked. The girl simply bit her lip and said nothing. Are you lost? Do you need a policeman? You don't know the situation, Kano. The relatively low crime rate in Japan, combined with rather high police personnel numbers in Tokyo, mean that officers, particularly beat cops, often have plenty of bandwidth to deal with more minor issues. Yep. Again, the girl gave no answer. Where'd you come from? Kano tried. Still nothing. He just decided to go and call for a female officer when the girl hesitatingly spoke at last. Heaven Publishing. After a little coaxing, she told him where that was. It turned out it was on the way to Shibuya Central Hospital, not too far from where they were now. Why don't I take you there, then? Kano said. I'm already heading that direction anyway. The girl seemed a bit reluctant at first, but eventually she agreed to go with Kano. Nice! Kano parted way with the girl outside the building where Heaven Publishing was located. He noticed that she hesitated to enter at first, but eventually vanished inside. Jesus Christ. Bruh. Okay, well now. Kano's phone rang as he was about to continue on his way. Kano, a quiet daughter, can skip marrying. Yeah. Don't need married if he already has a daughter now. I'm telling you, we are about Stanley in this house. I'm sorry, Doomy. You just cannot beat his chiseled jaw. When he appeared at the incoming call display, his heart nearly stopped. That was Tatsuno's name! Kano quickly pressed the button to accept the call. Detective Tatsuno! Detective Tatsuno, is that you? There's a whole mountain of things Kano wanted to ask. Just what had he been doing this whole time? Why'd he had let Arakawa go free? And what had happened to Hitomi? To be honest, beating Hana's dad at being a father is a low bar anyway. Yeah, that bar's on the floor. Like, Toyama isn't a bad guy, but he's definitely a bad dad. Like, the fact that Hana is basically, like, completely on her own, and like, oh my god. And let's not forget his introduction. Let's not forget that introduction. Where he took his own life presumably for his daughter to find him. Let's not forget. I know he hasn't done it in this timeline, but it counts. That was awful. Absolutely awful. Just what okay, and what happened to Hitomi? But while he was trying to decide what question to pose first, Tatsuno spoke. I secured Mario Osawa. What? The word came out as a startled gasp. Detective Tatsuno, you have to bring her here ASAP! Right now, she's... Tatsuno cut him off. You need to bring Hitomi Osawa to my location at once. Hitomi? Osawa? Yes. I heard over the wireless that the man from the US Embassy had her in custody. Kano hadn't been listening to the most recent wireless traffic. Apparently Stanley had managed to What the fuck is going on? Achi! What did you do? Achi! What was Tatsuno getting at here? Wait, hold on. What for? I mean, why do you need me to bring Hitomi Osawa to you? So you can kill her. Achi's a himbo, forgive him. Yeah, true. Nobody beats Stanley, though. There's no reply. Detective Tatsuno, answer me. Please. Tatsuno replied as if he hadn't heard Kano's questions. There's an office building in Nanpeidai called South Hill. I'll be waiting for you on the rooftop. If you don't bring her, I'll kill Maria. Great. Stanley is a staying in a I know, right? With that grisly warning, he hung up. Damn! He won over the heart of Kano over famous looking like. His phone slipped from his grasp and fell from the floor. Fell to the floor. Oh no! Oh no! Maria! Kano went to South Hill and Nanpeidai alone. Okay, the building takes its names from a rough translation of Nanpeidai, the name of this area where it's located. The official name is South Hill Building, but since this is awkward to say, it is frequently shortened. He hadn't brought Hitomi as Tatsuno has demanded, nor had he reported the situation to Kusei. First, he wanted to meet with Tatsuno and find out what was going on. He took the elevator to the 8th floor. After that, he had to take the stairs to the rooftop. This does not sound like a good idea! As he made his way up the steps, he tried to imagine what Tatsuno might want with Hitomi. He hadn't noticed anything suspicious about the senior detective in the lead-up to the stakeout at the Scramble. Tatsuno seemed like the same man Kano had always revered. So why was he doing this? I also find it very interesting, how they sort of never mention anything about Tatsuno walking with a cane. Just like jumped over that so we wouldn't make the connection, because like that's the only thing we knew about him, right? It was that he was a Japanese man with a cane. Kano couldn't think of a reason. Reaching the top of the staircase, he at last stepped out onto the open roof. Like they just kind of jumped over that. He's gonna get shot. The time for half-baked conjecture was past. Kano would lay his thoughts at Tatsuno's feet. Then soon enough, everything would become clear. Inwardly, Kano did his best to convince himself of that. A warm breeze blew against his cheek. He took a look around and saw no sign of Tatsuno. Shot by the arrow of love! Woo woo! Yeah. He's definitely... Detective Tatsuno, where are you? Getting no response, he began to walk around the rooftop, calling out several more times. It's Kano! I've come at you, you ask... Blah blah blah. Where's Hitomi Osawa? Kano whirled around when he heard the voice behind him. Maria! Yep. That is... Cane Man. Tatsuno stepped into view from behind a water tank. Man, that's a cool, turnaround. I like that. He led with him a young woman, bound and blindfolded. Why didn't you bring her? He growled. Kano stared in shock. Detective Tatsuno, why are you doing this? Is that really Maria? Oh nice! We already have a jump! Tatsuno responded by removing the young woman's blindfold. With the blindfold removed, Maria slowly opened her eyes. Then as she gazed past Kano, a panicked look crossed her face. Ah! Ah! She shot out her arm to point. Is that Minorikawa? No! Minorikawa! Kano whirled. There's 2 jumps! What? Kano whirled around in surprise. There was a man on the roof of the building across the way who looked like he was getting ready to jump. Why now? Kano thought to himself, but he couldn't just stand idly by while someone committed suicide. He felt a pang of disgust when he saw Tatsuno take in the situation with an indifferent glance, but make no move to help. Take to Tatsuno, I'll be right back, Kano exclaimed. We can finish this after. Without waiting for an answer, he raced for the other building. I mean, this game proves that Shibuya is a small place. I mean, I've been in Shibuya. You can, like, you start bordering on other territories rather quickly. Like, we've walked between, for instance, like Shibuya and Harajuku. Like, it's walking. It's decent walking distance. It's actually not that. Like, it is just kind of a portion of a Shinjuku. Yeah. Okay. When he got to the second rooftop, the man was still there, staring down at the ground below. Don't do anything rash, Kano warned, hurrying toward him. We need to visit Japan one day. We do! When the man gave no response, though, Kano quickly halted. The stranger was still several meters away. Like, the Mandarake there's a Mandarake in Shibuya, and it's like inside this little mall, and it's like very it's like behind the 109 building, if I remember. You have to like walk past it on, I think, the right side, and then like down that road. But pretty interesting. The stranger was still several meters away. Kano braced himself, ready to lunge for the man if necessary. Let's not be hasty. Nobody's gonna be happy if you jump. Ooh, hit the stores. I love him. Yeah, it was very nice. I bought a little gift for Momo there. Momo. I bought him a little Kingdom Hearts keychain. It was like this little round, stained glass one, and then you could like slide. Then you could like slide the circle to the side, and it was like a mirror. It's a very cute one. I liked it a lot. So the man said nothing, simply gazing up out of the sky. Surely he could hear Kano now. The detective continued, keeping his voice low and conversational. I swear I'll go broke if I visit Japan. That was me! It's expensive to live there. Like, that's why I 100% recommend just going there for like save up all your money, go there for a vacation, blow it all, and then go back home. I've got a coworker. He's one of the most absurdly devoted husbands you could meet. All he does is brag about his wife. The man continued to ignore him. He was stabbed in the belly earlier today. He's in the hospital right now, on death's door. He was happy, but now his life might get snatched away from him anyway. So the man appeared unmoved. It was as the words weren't even reaching him. Don't you think it's a waste to just go and throw your own life away? Kano waited for the man to respond. The stranger took a purposeful stride away from the fence, toward the roof's edge. Stop! Don't do it! The man unflinchingly stepped out toward empty air. No. Kano swung forward, somehow managing to grab hold of the stranger's wrist. He yanked the man back from the edge, getting only a blank stare in response. Don't go wasting your life like this! Ordinarily, Kano would have stayed and talked until he was sure this guy's death wish had passed. There wasn't time for that right now. Maria was in just as much danger at the moment. Ripping out his handcuffs, he shackled the man to the fence. Ooh. Bruh. I promise I'll come back. Please just stay alive for a few minutes longer, okay? Don't die! For now! You can die later! Kano left the man staring in bewilderment and raced back to the Southfield building. It's too late. That was a genius idea. It really was. But now Minorikawa is stuck! I know. When he got back to the roof, no one was there. Kano immediately tried to call Tatsuno on his cell, but the call didn't go through. Tatsuno must have powered off his phone. Damn it! Where'd you go to take the bad ending? Bad ending music. Go be like... Tatsuno was like, this bitch. He decided he needed to hear what Tatsuno had to say. He still had no idea what was really going on or what the grim truth might be. And it seemed he might just have lost his chance to find out. In desperation, Kano rushed from the building. But in his frantic search of the area, he saw no sign of either Tatsuno or Maria. Later, a precinct-wide manhunt failed to discover where the two had gone. From that day forward, Kano was empty inside, carrying out his duties as a detective with bleak detachment. 「 Wah, wah, wah. When Kano caught sight of a man about to commit suicide, it was Minorikawa! He couldn't ignore the situation and impulsively rushed to the rescue, but lost track of Tatsuno and Mari as a result. If Minorikawa hadn't turned up on that rooftop, Kano would have been able to focus on his primary mission. Yeah, I think I want to go with Minorikawa first. That seems interesting. Man, my poor sad boy. Man, I don't even know what to feel anymore. Minorikawa. Oh. Can't believe it was actually Minorikawa. I know it. Minorikawa needed to get back to the editing office right away, but despite the urgency, he barely stumbled along. He was swaying on his feet, only half aware of where he was even going. No, this is all some sick joke. He just couldn't accept that Toyama was dead. He let out a lifeless sigh, a cynical smile crept onto his face. The man always did insist on having his own way, but killing himself. Back when he was still a novice reporter, Minorikawa had written a piece about a middle school girl who'd committed suicide. The school had made a statement denying the bullying had been a factor, and so most of the media had reported that she'd suffered a nervous breakdown over entrance exams. A period of mental illness manifesting as a panic disorder, stress-induced anxiety, or the like. The term is commonly used to refer to serious health issues such as schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, manic depression, as well as the build-up of more minor stresses as part of everyday life. Because it is so broadly and vaguely defined, it's generally avoided in psychiatric contexts. Makes sense. Something about the case had kept nagging at him. Had her death really been a suicide? The more people he interviewed about the incident, the more his doubts grew. The city news editor, however, would not allow him to conduct a follow-up investigation. And the reason why was simple. This was the sort of thing that happened every day. He couldn't waste time on a case that was already on the books. It was more important for a reporter to find news stories than to squander time engrossed in a case that was old news. Minorikawa understood the editor's decision well enough, but that didn't mean he had to like it. Wait! What is that? Wait! Is that Minorikawa? Wait. Is this like a flashback? Or is he just actually there? I hope this is a flashback. I just, oh my god. I don't know why that's so funny. He'd been sulking up on the roof, slowly nursing a cigarette, when the paper's local news copy editor, Toyama, happened to drop by. I don't know why. I thought for a second that was now, and I was like, wait, what? He's right there! He's not dead. I mean, he isn't dead, but at a newspaper, an employee who evaluates the quality and suitability of reporters' copy and coverage. Effectively the boss of a group of reporters. However, the copy editor typically works under a section editor who has the final say about what makes it the page. A middle management position caught between upstart reporters and an angry section chief. Did I say no to the follow-up interviews? Toyama asked. About that girl's suicide. The name of the girl who killed herself was Chiharu Fuyutsuki. After reading her diary, Minorikawa became convinced it wasn't an ordinary suicide. 6 years from now, Minorikawa will run into a certain teacher, and the investigation into the student's death will be reopened, but that's another story for another time. Yeah. Minorikawa expelled a plume of his smoke along with his sigh. Nothing tasted quite as bad as a cigarette when he was down in the dumps. So what are you gonna do? I'm not gonna do anything, Minorikawa said. Editor told me no. Oh, editor said not to? You sound like a child. The reflux made Minorikawa's temper flare. There are other interviews to do. I want to follow up on this, but there isn't any time. You dumbass! Toyama hauled off and hit him right across the face. What happened to I write what I feel in my heart? That's the one thing I refuse to back down on. What happened to the guy who used to bitch at me like that? Toyama's words hit their mark with painful precision. Your interviews aren't over until you have what you need. No, you refuse to let them be over. You go after the truth no matter what anyone tells you. Isn't that what being a journalist is all about? Minorikawa scowled in chagrin. The man was exactly right. Until you have what you need. Those words have stuck with Minorikawa ever since. In fact, he'd quit the paper to become a freelancer because he couldn't do his job the way he wanted while trapped in that hierarchy. Wow. Now he wondered, what if Toyama hadn't killed himself? What had instead been the victim of a terrorist attack? But after considering the idea for a moment, he thought bitterly. So what? The reasons and the details hardly mattered at this point. What mattered was that Toyama was dead. Minodiko sat down listlessly and stared up at the sky. The blank swath of blue made him feel all the more worn out. Just what had all of the days running around been for? He felt so empty, so hollowed out by loss. All his motivation had drained away. He had no idea what he should do next. Hey, Minorikawa, what should you do? He tried to listen to his inner voice. You've forgotten your passion. You need to get that back. Yeah, that's his only option, really. He needed to turn back the clock, to reclaim the fire that used to burn inside him. And he knew just how to do that. Before he could, however, a young man stumbled across his path, taking a nasty fall on the pavement. Ow! Oh damn, that hurts! The youngster scrambled back to his feet and turned to Minorikawa with a snarl. What you looking at, pal? The young man clutched a piece of timber like a club. There was a nasty gleam in his eyes. God damn it. I'm not looking at anything, Minorikawa sighed. I just happen to be looking in your direction. Shut your yap! Apologize, bitch! Now! Apologize to the Furnier Rimpa! The punk raised his cudgel. God damn it. Apologize! What for? You tripped me, man! Ain't you gonna apologize for that? The kid had stumbled all on his own, but was probably too embarrassed to admit it. He's got to vent his anger at someone. Listen, kid. It's not my fault you're such a klutz. You know, like the pedal in a car that's got a manual transmission? Oh, that's a clutch! Okay, so then, like, lumps of earth for clay. Those are clutch, you say? Right, so then we're talking about a sort of social get-together, for coffee and conversation. Huh! Right, that's a clutch. Is it when you try to fix something using stuff that isn't really meant for that purpose? That's a clutch? Okay. Oh. The hell did you just say to me? You got a death wish, pal? With a murderous glare, the punk advanced on him, brandishing his weapon. Hey! Minorikawa said. I don't even know. Bring it on! The punk swung his wooden club without a moment's hesitation. It struck Minorikawa on the shoulder, knocking him off balance. Okay, don't really bring it on, Jesus! Nah, man, it's too late for take-backs. Oh, rip, we did. With a nasty little grin, the young fellow swung again, then again, catching Minorikawa on the arm and side. Only when the journalist was curled up in a battered ball on the ground did the kid finally let up. Heh, good to get a little warm-up in before I take down that other bitch! Weapon still in hand, the punk marched off toward Dogensaka. Rip! Ripper Rooney. It's her man! It's her boy! Hey, are you okay? Minorikawa starts to find Kimisuka! Kimisuka, our boy! He's here! He's a taxi driver and he's the best, okay? Best character. Best side character. I love you! Kimisuka the taxi man! Once again, the man had impeccable timing. Do you need a ride somewhere, maybe, sir? The driver asked, keeping his tone polite. Yeah, I do. To the hospital. That's funny. Kimisuka! That was great. I love it. Pummeled! Hot-headed young punk gave Minorikawa a beating bad enough to send him to the hospital. Maybe a reporter friend shouldn't be quite so confrontational with this fellow. Yeah, it's okay. We'll apologize. I don't know. That bad end was worth it. That was worth it. Okay. Alright, I'm sorry. Getting dragged into a street fight was not what he needed right now. It was better to just apologize and be done with it. Should have shown me that kind of respect from the start. The punk shook his head, muttering under his breath. An old dumbass gotta get taught some manners. With that, the young fuck headed off in the direction of Dogensaka. Wait, fuck. Minorikawa headed up to the roof of a nearby building and lit himself a cigarette. Tiny tendrils of white smoke drifted lazily up into the blue sky. As his eyes tracked the twisting movements of the smoke, memories of Toyama and their newspaper days played through his mind. Practically any time the two men needed to speak to one another, they got into a heated argument on the spot. Minorikawa cherished his subjective viewpoints, while Toyama insisted on objectivity for the readership. Neither shied away from vigorous headbutting. But once the articles were on the page and out the door, it was all wonder under the bridge. It felt almost like the referee calling no side at the end of a rugby match. The phrase called out by the referee to signal the end of a rugby match refers to the fact that no side has possession of the ball, allowing the two teams to part on the sportsman-like terms. Oh, that's fun. The truth was that, somewhere deep down, Minorikawa got where Toyama was coming from. Without objectivity, readers didn't get the facts. Without subjectivity, they didn't get any emotional impact. Minorikawa had to credit Toyama for helping him become a full-fledged reporter. Mr. Toyama was in there. It was a suicide. Minorikawa let Chiaki's words drain from his mind, overriding them with one irresistible fact. The truth. The truth was in anything and everything. The truth could not be forgotten. The truth was all that remained in the end. Minorikawa smirked grimly at himself. He'd come up here hoping to reignite his journalistic passion, but instead, the emptiness within him had only grown. Yeah, I guess this is gonna take a while. He sparked up a second cigarette. God damn it. Wait, isn't this a fake keep out? Unless we're gonna go to... Should we try going to Kano and then jumping? We might as well. Here. You can jump to a man. A man. What the fuck are you doing, Minorikawa, you dumbass? From the edge of the rooftop, Minorikawa gazed down at the city below, no longer aware of the passage of time. No matter how hard he tried to write about the truth, ultimately, he hadn't been able to change anything. So what had it all been for? The last ghost of his desire to keep up the struggle had left him as he considered how meaningless it had all been. Don't do anything rash! An intruder abruptly shattered his brooding silence. A man in a suit had appeared behind him. Now he rushed closer, calling out with concern. Just don't be hasty. Nobody's gonna be happy if you jump! If he jumped. Minorikawa stepped to the very edge and cast his gaze straight down. That might not be a bad idea. Or maybe some part of him actually wanted to. Suddenly it felt like the natural course of action. From here, the city looked like a miniature diorama of cars and people. It didn't quite seem real. Stop, don't do it! Minorikawa took a step forward despite the stranger's words, feeling a splendid sense of liberation as he did so. He allowed his body to go limp, co-signing himself to the fall. But just as he began to topple, he was abruptly yanked back. Don't go wasting your life like this! The look on his face was outrageously solemn, and then for some reason he slapped the handcuff onto Minorikawa's right wrist. Before Minorikawa could react, the man locked the second cuff in the pair around a nearby fence. I promise I'll come back. Please just stay here alive for a few minutes longer, okay? And with that, the guy tortured away. Bruh! What the hell? Minorikawa muttered. He found himself alone again, unable to go anywhere, even if he wanted to. Feeling emptier than ever, he resumed his aimless vigil, staring out across Shibuya. And in the end, the man never did come back. Not even after the sun had set, and night had fallen, and the next bleak morning came. What a misunderstanding! I know! And then this bad ending, Minorikawa also just fucks out. Oh my god. Abandoned! Some guy, it was Kano, of course, showed up out of nowhere, handcuffed Minorikawa, then left him to languish on the rooftop. It had looked to Kano like Minorikawa was contemplating suicide, an understandable mistake under the circumstances. Maybe now isn't the best time to reminisce about the past. Man saved man from committing suicide, left him to die alone in torture. And alright, okay, so I think we gotta go all the way back to the first choice. Let's try changing that first. If you're gonna change this... Stand up right now, you just need to forge ahead. Yeah, that was his only option. Okay, and now this one is gonna continue. Oh, okay. Everything changes now. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's his only option, really. He couldn't just let things end like this, and he still didn't have what he needed for his articles, so... Minotiko took a deep breath, ready to get back on his feet. Okay, a young man stumbled across his path. Oh, damn it! We're just gonna skip through this and take... The fuck are you doing, man? What are you looking at, pal? I'm not your pal, dude. I'm not your dude, bro. I'm not your bro, man. Apologize to the fun you're in, pal. Okay. Listen, kid. Not my fault you're such a clutch. Let's go! Alright, I'm sorry. Gomen nasai. You know, big sorry. Big sorries for me. By the way, it's just Susumu. It'd be funny if that's Susumu. I hope that's Susumu. I don't think it is. Minotiko looked around. He noticed a taxi idling nearby. Hello! It was Kimizuka. Do you need a ride, sir? Kimizuka asked. All politeness as he opened the back. I swear to God, I love him. I swear to God, I love him! I love him! If you're heading to that publishing office again, I can get you there in 10 minutes. Kimizuka's driving was as smooth as always. He wove his way skillfully through a series of back streets. There was some big explosion earlier, he explained. The main roads are all gridlocked. Yeah, Minotiko muttered. That's when it happened. Oh wow, really? I'm glad to see you're not hurt then. Still, what a terrible thing, that minivan. I knew someone was inside when it exploded. I'm not sure if you were aware. Yeah, I'm aware. Oh, nothing gets past a reporter like you, I see. Kimizuka flashed Minotiko an approving smile through the rearview mirror. How much have you heard then? Rumor has it that the person who died was a middle-aged man. Oh, huh. We taxi drivers sense to hear quite a bit ourselves. Kimizuka chuckled, but Minotiko just cast his eye down forlornly. You look tired, sir. Yeah, I guess so. His reply was barely audible. I love Kimizuka, he's like my favorite character, I love him. He's great. He is great! The taxi stopped outside of Heaven Publishing. Minotiko left a 1,000 yen bill on the seat and exited the cab. He was stumbling his way toward the building when someone called out to him. Mr. Minotiko! Oh, Mr. Minotiko! For a moment, Minotiko didn't recognize the man idling his sedan at the curb, but when he took a closer look, he realized it was Kenji Osawa. Oh, Mr. Osawa. Sorry, but I haven't been able to look into that thing you asked about yet. I see. That's quite alright. Osawa looked pale and haggard. Minotiko's reporter's sense started tingling. This guy is the key to something. He recalled what he'd heard the detective and his buddy talking about back at the scene of the explosion. Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Maria Osawa with the Ua virus. If you don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms... You're caught up in something big, aren't you? How do you know that? Because, the reporter said simply, I'm Minori Minotikawa. Minori. Mr. Tongue Twister. Minoru. I can't say his name. It's so bad. I can't say it at all. Osawa rolled his eyes. Well, they'll make this simpler, I guess. Get in. I'll tell you everything. Minotikawa hesitated. This might be his big chance to land a beyond incredible scoop. And it felt like it was too late to matter. Still, landing a major story, selling out an issue of 4-star general gossip, and putting Heaven Publishing on the road to solvency, all that was the least you could do in Toyama's memory. Come on! No. You don't drop a story until you have what you need. Maybe it was too late to save Toyama, but Minotikawa got in the car. Osawa's tale was beyond anything Minotikawa had imagined. So, they sent your threatening emails, devised a plan to kidnap your daughter in order to get the antiviral, and now that's failed, they're turning to bioterrorism. Finally, Minorikawa was able to flesh out the story behind the conversation he'd overheard earlier. And as he did, he could feel a growing sense of exhilaration. So, basically, they're now effectively holding all the people in Shibuya hostage and demanding the antiviral, is that it? Before Osawa could answer, a new idea occurred to Minorikawa. Wait, hold on! Why didn't they just start by holding the whole city hostage? Why did they need to go through the trouble of kidnapping your daughter? I don't know, Osawa said, shaking his head. Perhaps they wanted the ransom money? For a mere 50 million yen? I can't imagine international terrorists bothering for that much. You can't know how terrorists think, Osawa spat. Let's just assume, though. Could there be some other reason they abducted your daughter? Osawa didn't reply. He was probably too preoccupied with finding a way to save his infected daughter to think about anything else. Still, something about the course of events didn't quite add up to Minorikawa. Yeah, I know, right? It seems weird. But whatever the case, the criminals were after this antiviral. If the criminals were after this antiviral, then sticking with Osawa ought to bring him closer to the truth. Minorikawa was still mulling over when they arrived at the laboratory. Wait. Two men hopped out of the car and were immediately rushed by a pair of security guards who subdued them in a matter of moments. Hey, Minorikawa protested. What the hell is this? Unhand me, Osawa yelled. I'm Kenji Osawa. This is my lab. But evidently that didn't matter to the guards. Oh, wait, that's, Makino, was that his name? Another man emerged from the building. He and Osawa exchanged a few brief words. Oh, night! I know, right? Judging from the tone of the conversation, this was someone who outranked Osawa at the company. Take him away. As the newcomer looked down, the guards dragged Osawa into the building. Hey! Minorikawa shouted at the man as he began to walk away. Don't you know what's gonna happen in Shibuya? Don't you care? If you just stand by and let the people of the city die, of course your pharmaceutical is gonna be held responsible. The man stopped in his tracks. And if that happens? And if that happens, you'll be ruined personally too, Minorikawa added. You know I'm right. That will be up for the police to decide. You're gonna regret this! Don't be a fool! Minorikawa's resolve was unwavering. His pen would mete out justice. He might have come close to forgetting what he once stood for, but now the old fire was back. I see. It seems this isn't something to leave unchecked. The man gestured with his jaw. Take him as well. More security guards surrounded Minorikawa. Oh my god! Hey, stop it! Let me go! But though he struggled fiercely, there was no escape. Once he was dragged through those laboratory doors, Minorikawa never wrote another article again. Oh no! Osawa! Detained at the lab. Minorikawa accompanied Osawa to the lab, but there was no getting past the security guards. And if even Osawa can't get into his own lab, there's no real reason to go there. It's Osawa who needs to decide on a different course of action here. It's Osawa who's a big, stupid fuck-up. I actually wanna... Maria, I think. I think I wanna try going with... Like, as we can continue, kinda, but... Like, right? Right, because now Minorikawa is fucking around. Have fun, Minorikawa. Kinda went to South Hill and unpaid I alone. He hadn't brought Hitomi as Tatsuno demanded, nor did he report the situation to Kusei. He wanted to meet with Tatsuno to find out what was going on. He took the elevator to the 8th floor. After that, he had to take the stairs to the rooftop. As he made his way up the steps, he tried to imagine what Tatsuno might want with Hitomi. He hadn't noticed anything suspicious about the senior detective in the lead-up to the stakeout at the Scramble. Tatsuno, it seemed like... Man, like... It's been it's been 4 hours and 40 minutes since we were just, like, hanging out next to Hachiko making jokes about how Kano's girlfriend looks like a famous celebrity. Man, that seems like 5 years ago now. That's crazy. Doesn't it seem like the same man Kano had always revered? So how is he doing this? Like, right? Am I the only one who thinks that? It's the only thing I kind of couldn't think of a reason. Reaching the top of the staircase, he at last stepped out onto the open roof. that do indeed be a roof. Time for half-baked conjecture was past. It's time. Kano would lay his doubts at Tatsuno's feet. Then soon enough, everything would become clear. Inwardly, Kano did his best to convince himself of that. No one believes you can see still no sign. Where are you? I came here as you asked me to. Where's Hitomi Osawa? Tatsuno stepped into view from behind a water tank. He left with him a young woman, bound and blindfolded. Why didn't you bring her? He growled. Kano stared in shock. Detective Tatsuno, why are you doing this? Is that really Maria? Tatsuno responded by removing the young woman's blindfold. There was no doubt about it. She looked very much like Hitomi Osawa. A surge of frustration rushed through Kano. I mean, the music is pretty epic! Detective Tatsuno, what is the meaning of this? Kano fought to remain calm. He felt like he was on the verge of falling into pieces. Bring me Hitomi Osawa and I'll let this girl go. Why? What do you need Hitomi for? But Tatsuno's only answer was an icy stare. This isn't like you! It's so weird! Detective Tatsuno, who I knew. Who you know? Tatsuno cut him off. What do you know about me? I know what sort of detective you are, sir. Because I've modeled myself after you for my whole career. The older man's expression remained stony. Don't you remember? Kano went on. That time when you risked your life to talk down that man who had barricaded himself inside that office? Ever since then, you've been my... Tatsuno interrupted him with a sudden burst of laughter. You really are so gullible, you know that? You can only see things the way you want to see them. What do you mean by that? The truth is, I didn't even care if I died doing what I did. That's why I doused myself in gasoline. Tatsuno's voice had gone low and quiet. Oh my god! It was no display of heroics. It was mere attempted suicide than anything else. I wasn't thinking about the other people still inside the building. It's just a coincidence things turned out the way they did. So then, if you'd made a single misstep, then everyone in that building might well have burned to death. You're lying! That can't be true! Kano shook his head insistently. I don't have time for this conversation. Tatsuno pressed the barrel of his gun to Maria's head. If you don't bring Hitomi Osawa to me, believe me, I'll blow her brains out. Please stop this, Kano shouted. But there's no hesitation in Tatsuno's eyes. It looked like he really would shoot Maria if Kano didn't do as he asked. Hurry up, bring Hitomi to me. Can you at least tell me what's going on? Go now, or so help me I'll shoot. Kano drew his own gun from his jacket. I know you, Detective Tatsuno. Yamete! I know, right? I know there's some meaning behind all this. Kano's words came out as an imploring croak. You think you can shoot me? Tatsuno spat, letting out Karawan go free. Taking Maria hostage. This has to mean something. Said made Kano's hand slick where he clutched his gun. I asked if you think you can shoot me. I've always looked up to you. You were the sort of detective I wanted to become. Kano's view of Tatsuno began to blur as tears welled in his eyes. Can you shoot me, Kano? I can! Even as he cried, Kano stood resolutely, doing his best to stare down the older man. He set his finger squarely on the trigger and pointed his gun at Tatsuno's forehead. Suddenly, the piercing stare vanished from the other detective eyes. I've got to give you full marks for that, Kano. Tatsuno smiled thinly. I'll tell you then. I'll tell you why I'm doing this. Famous last words. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? I know, right? He's like, oh, you think you can shoot me? Kaboom! Oh, you could. I see. It all happened 17 years ago. A meth addict had assaulted someone in Shibuya. Tatsuno was questioning people around Dogensaka in search of the perp. He happened to pass by Endo Electronics. Oh, hey, Tatsuno. Oh, hey, Tatsuno. Aww. It was Kotone Endo. Is that little Achi? Look at him! Baby Achi! It was Kotone Endo, clad in pristine white. Clutched to her. No, it's the daughter! Okay, it's the sister. It's the sister. It's the sister. It's the sister. She's so cute! It's the sister. I forgot he had I forgot Susanne existed for a moment there. Right. This makes more sense, because she's a teenager, right? She's like 17, 18. Yeah, exactly. This makes way more sense. Yeah, who only a few months old. Clutched to her breast was her daughter, Susanne, who's only a few months old. It's been a long time, Kotone said. She flashed a tiny smile. Yes, it has, Tatsuno replied with a clumsy smile of his own. Are you on the job? Yes, I am. Kotone recalled slightly at the dour look on Tatsuno's face. Is something the matter? There's an armed criminal hiding out somewhere in the area. What? I wouldn't leave the shop for a while if you can avoid it. But I have to go to the bank to deposit some money. Surely you can have Daisuke go do it? He's away on a repair job and hasn't come home yet. Tatsuno let out a one-note sigh. I see Daisuke still does things his own way. Alright, let me escort you to the bank. You mean it? I'd feel a lot safer having you with me. Kotone flashed him a smile so wide that Tatsuno thought he might lose himself in it. Tatsuno, Kotone, and Daisuke were childish. Those are the three people in the... I knew it was him. Oh my god, we're childhood friends and had gone to school together up through high school. Tatsuno and Daisuke were always clowning around together. And Kotone was always there alongside them, laughing. Ouch. It had been quite some time since he'd gotten to walk along Dogen Saka with Kotone. How have you been lately? Well, with a newborn to look after, it's been pretty hectic. But there's never a dull moment. Things have been good. Daisuke married Kotone, the rest right itself. Yeah. I'm glad to hear it. Kotone was always as bright as a sunflower. Sometimes Tatsuno managed to convince himself that just the sight of her was enough. Yeah. He was jealous. Outside the bank, Kotone held Susanne out to him. Tatsuno received the baby with an anxious frown. What's with the face? I'm not good with babies. I haven't held one very often. Well, you'll be fine, don't worry. Just hold on to her for a minute while I'll take care of things inside. Alright. He held the baby gingerly, like it was a bomb that might explode at any moment. He's like, baby, scary, Policemen terrified of babies. Like, child, I'm sorry. Children! He's just terrified. Kotone chuckled softly. Susanne stirred and squirmed in Tatsuno's arms. She kind of has Kotone's eyes, he thought. I mean, babies are a bomb. Oh yeah, very loud bomb. It was strange, the sensation of holding a child. She was so soft and light, and yet such a real and responsive presence. Do I arrest the baby for resisting arrest if it squirms? The faint warmth of her body warmed Tatsuno inwardly in return. Aww. He's such a good boy. When Kotone returned after making her deposit, they strolled to a nearby park, Susanne back in her mother's arms. Do you have any plans for marriage, Tatsuno? I haven't thought about it. Work has me plenty busy. Yeah, the baby should do a lot better if it acts like that. I know, right? How dare they? How dare she? Oh, it's just an excuse, Kotone said. If there really were some woman you wanted to marry, you wouldn't let work stop you. And I suppose it's because there hasn't been anyone I felt that way about. Really? Nobody this whole time? Yeah, really. I see. Still, seeing the two of you like this makes me realize how nice having a family could be. Tatsuno peered deeply into Susanne's face. Well, if it ain't Tatsuno... He looked up as a cheery voice cut into the conversation. Daisuke! What are you doing here? He asked his wife. I could ask you the same question. Come on, give me a break. I come to make the deposit for the client. In that case, no need to worry. I just took care of it myself. I thought you'd forgotten about it. Oh, really? Kotone smiled as Daisuke reached down and carefully lifted Susanne in his arms. Beaming happily at his daughter, he nuzzled up against her tiny cheek. Daisuke, long time no see. Yeah, glad you're doing well for yourself, Tatsuno. They walked side by side. Daisuke proudly showed off Susanne's drowsing face. What do you think? Adorable! She is adorable. Yeah, luckily she doesn't have your looks. You ugly, Daisuke. You ugly. It's interesting how all characters are connected. The first time you play all 5 protagonists seems there's literally no connection. Yeah, I know! But in this way, Tatsuno kind of connects Endo and, like, kind of connects, like, Achi and Kano in some way, I guess. Like, loosely, of course. Hey now, bad loving me the same as ever, huh? Some things hadn't changed since high school. I know I love them. Went up down by our place for a bit. The dice offered. Oh, sorry, I'm in the middle of a job, actually. Tatsuno turns to glance at Kotone. No! An instant later, Daisuke screamed, Kotone! A man had come up behind his wife and now held a kitchen knife to her throat. Oh my god. Tatsuno stood stiffly, frozen in terror. Let her go! Tatsuno took a step toward the man. The slightly upturned eyes, the close-cropped hair, the thin mustache, all the details matched the description. It had to be the man Tatsuno was after. Shut your damn mouth! You wanna try and kill me, huh? I'm trying to figure out how to read that. This lady here wants to try and kill me! Like, is he talking like that? I have a hard time visualizing. The man was babbling nonsense. The reporter said the suspect was a tweaker. Wait, now his mind was probably a complete mess from the meth withdrawal. Left unchecked, there was no telling what he might do. Tatsuno shoved Daisuke behind him and drew his gun from his jacket. Wait, don't shoot! You'll hit Kotone! But Tatsuno ignored Daisuke's shouts and trained his gun on the perv's shoulder. He was confident in his marksmanship. He'd never miss at this range. What do you have to show me, Arson? You can show me in... Yes, it's Pokemon language. You can show it in the server if you want. He never miss at this range. Tatsuno, please, back down! Daisuke pleaded. Suzuno still clutched in his arms. I beg you! I can't, Tatsuno hissed under his breath. This isn't someone we can reason with. He said and began waving his knife about. He could stab it into Kotone at any moment. Tatsuno had to take the shot now. He aimed for the shoulder of the arm that the man held his knife in. Tatsuno, stop! Daisuke shouted. Don't do this! For a brief moment, Tatsuno's eyes met Kotone's. Okay, I'll check it out. He saw her give a tiny nod. Don't shoot! Oh no. It was all over in an instant. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't anyone's... Oh damn, that's a lot of notification, Arson. That's a lot of notifications. Are you trying to reach a rec? Oh my god. It's the year 1149, I see. By the time Tatsuno had the perp subdued, Kotone's white shirt was soaked through with red. I mean, how was that anyone's fault? With Kotone's death, so too died Tatsuno's heart. Whatever feelings had lived inside him had been reduced to cinders, leaving only a never-ending need to atone. Yeah, I don't know. Was that anyone's fault? I'm not sure. Countless times he'd thought of ending his life in order to make things up to Daisuke and his children. The only reason he didn't go through with it was that he knew death would be the easy way out. And so he'd stayed on as a detective. Oh, there they are! There's Achi! Look at him. He would carry the weight of his sins with him for as long as he lived. So someone in another Discord server has like 4,000? Like, oh gee, that's a lot. As long as... It was the babies! I know I should have locked it away in its crib for the rest of its days! Look at that face of a future himbo. It was written in his face. It really was. This was the sentence Tatsuno gave himself. 15 years had passed since Kotone's death. Sus! Baby sus! For the first time, Tatsuno had gone to visit her grave. He was standing by the grave marker with his hands clasped when someone called out to him from behind. Excuse me? Excuse me? That's Suzume! A slender young girl stood there, flowers in hand. Tatsuno instantly recognized her. Suzume. I am doing good, Arson! Welcome to the dreamland. I hope you're having a good time. She looked just like Kotone had back in her high school days.
Did you know my mother?
She asked. Oh, yes. We were classmates a long time ago.
Oh, really? Thank you so much for coming.
Cindy gave a slight bow, bowed and glanced up at Tessina with her big bright eyes. You look just like her. Tessina struggled to hold back the tears. Oh,
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Arsen.
He felt as if Kotone stood before him, returned to life.
My father tells me the same thing all the time.
I'm sure once you're all grown up, you'll be just as beautiful as she was. A forlorn smile came to Suzuna's face.
Once I'm grown up? Well, I don't think that's gonna happen. Because I really do have a lot in common with my mother, including the part where I'm going to die young.
Also votes for the baby. We voted for the baby. Dun dun. Yeah. No, we know this. She's sick. Don't be ridiculous, Tessina exclaimed. Why would you say such a horrible thing? Tessina took a step backward, looking shocked to be rebuked by a stranger. My apologies, he said hurriedly. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, it's alright,
Tessina murmured, clutching the flowers close.
Honestly, not something I like to talk about myself, but I'm sick. There's not really anything I can do to change it.
Sick?
I have a heart condition.
A generic expression for illnesses pertaining to the heart, also referred to as heart disease. Includes things like heart failure, valvular heart disease, and so forth.
A transplant is the only thing that can help me. But my blood type is a little bit weird, and it doesn't look like they'll be able to find me a compatible donor.
The immune system exists to get rid of foreign substances in the body. Often a patient's immune system will attack a transplanted organ, which can result in the organ failing or functioning poorly. To mitigate the risk of rejection, it is preferable for the donor and the recipient to have matching body tissue. In the case of a heart transplant, characteristics such as blood type and pre-synthesized antibodies, human leukocyte antigens, must be screened ahead of time. He already lost her mother and now she's also gonna die, and he still feels guilty and wants to protect her. Yeah, I totally get it. Wait! I'm so dumb. That's why he told me. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, wasn't it established that Hitomi had that same blood type? That's why he wants to kill her. Oh my god. I'm so sorry, that took me way too long. That took me way too long. That was like such a slight anecdote that I'd forgotten everything about it and the whole virus bullshit. Oh my god. That's why he told me. Then bowing her head, Susanna stepped in front of the gravestone and clasped her hands in silence. Oh my god. Well, it has a good reputation detective is chasing he told me. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm a little dense. I'm sorry. If you want super smart commentary, I am not your sheepy, okay? I'm not that sheep. Damn! Oh my god! This explains so much! Tessina felt a wrenching pain inside him, as if Kotone were being taken from him all over again. If there really was a god, why would he do such dreadful things? And Achi already said that Susanna basically has a small chance, because the chance of getting her heart transplant is so small and bent on luck. Yeah, right. Ugh, is there nothing I can do? He nearly lamented aloud. I'll do anything. Susanna. I'll do whatever I have to in order to save you. Tetsuro clenched his fists as he stared at the grave. Tell me, Kotone. What can I possibly do for your daughter? Please, tell me. Mina's a sheep when you're counting a sheep to sleep. Goes away from the other sheep because they say the shiny thing. Yeah. The question is how Tatsuno knew. Yeah! Yeah. You're right. You're right, because I believe she told Achi, but I'm like, how did... How did he find out about her blood type? Did he have a chance to ask her? And so the months rolled on. I guess we might find out. Everything changed just after 10 o'clock that morning. He saw Achi and Hitomi's ass in Shibuya exchange fiasco from the get-go. Yeah, exactly, like, when would he have had a chance to figure this out? Tatsuno was on the stakeout when his cell phone rang. He glanced at the call display and saw Daisuke Endo's name. He hadn't heard from Daisuke in years now. Fearing that something had happened to Suzuno, Tatsuno answered the call despite his current tense circumstances. At once he heard Daisuke wailing. Suzuno had a seizure. She might not come back from this one. Tatsuno's terrible suspicions had been right on the mark. He felt himself growing weak. Please, Daisuke exclaimed. You need to shoot the girl you're with. Wait! Hold up! Hold a fucking moment! Achi's dad? What? What? Achi's dad told Tateno to kill Hitomi? The fuck? And he's been playing... Has he... He's been playing dumb this entire time. Yeah, I mean, we don't know much about him. Was he listening in? He also has that fucking network, right? You need to shoot that girl you're with, that Hitomi Osawa. You need to shoot her in the head. If you have her, we have her heart, we can save Suzuno. At first, Tatsuno couldn't make sense of what Daisuke was saying. Hurry up and shoot! Shoot her, please! Hitomi Osawa has the Bombay blood type. Wait, hold on, Tatsuno said, keeping his voice low. You want me to kill Hitomi Osawa? Why? He quickly scanned the area. Daisuke, you're nearby. Wait, where are you? Don't worry about that. If you could just render her brain dead, we'll be able to transplant her heart into Suzuno. Actually, that after that moment felt for me like this grey persona that's behind the scenes basically, but it was only a feeling when I hit this moment. Yeah! Yeah, I can sort of like, when we think about it, Achi's dad has been like weirdly there, but not there. Like, he was sort of there when it came to, Tatsuno was at the exchange, learned about Hitomi, and since then decided to bang on getting her. Yeah. The term brain dead refers to a state where the entire brain, including the brainstem, is beyond any recovery. In Japan, brain death is defined by Article 6 of the Act on Organ Transplantation, which states that brain death can only be declared with the goal of authorizing a transplant, and is subject to the judgment of at least 2 doctors inspecting the patient, according to a preset process at least 6 hours apart. Shooting someone in the head didn't necessarily guarantee they'd wind up brain dead, and even assuming it did, if Tatsuno shot the Osawa girl here in the middle of the scramble, it would cause a giant incident. By the time the autopsy was completed, the window for a heart transplant would surely have passed. Tatsuno, shoot her, please! Daisuke, I can't. You know I can't do that. Hurry! Just like his old friend wasn't even listening to him. Look, even if she did wind up brain dead, they wouldn't be able to perform a transplant. But Daisuke kept on shouting. It's fine! It'll be fine! I'll make the transplant work somehow! You'll make it work? Even knowing how ridiculous that was, part of Tatsuno wanted to know what he had in mind, if anything. I finally found it! I found something we can do for Suzuno. Please help me help her! Suzuno understood Daisuke's feelings painfully well. To be helpless to stop the suffering of someone you loved. Nothing in the world hurt as much as that. I want to save Suzuno. Tatsuno, this is the one thing I will ever ask of you. And now the ball moved from how Tatsuno knew the move into how Endo knew. Right. Wait, is he after us too? Tatsuno could hear Choke weeping from the other end of the line, and at that sound something inside him shifted. Yes, Daisuke was right. The likelihood of a transplant happening wasn't the issue. What mattered was that right now he could take action. He could do something for Suzuno. He mustered up his resolve, feeling the doubt lift from his heart. For Suzuno. For the daughter of the woman he'd loved. Fuck's sake. Tatsuno checked the gun tucked inside his jacket, then slowly began making his way through the crowd toward Hitomi. And that was when Achi ruined it. Now you know why we're here. Tatsuno gestured subtly with his gun, its barrel still pressed against Maria's temple, and that's why he doesn't need Maria. Kano's own gun wavered in his hands. He was crying inside. There was nothing else he wanted to hear from Tatsuno now. And no, he was sure of one thing. Words were never gonna stop this man. Kano, Tatsuno said. At my age, I've seen all sorts of young detectives come and go. He fixed his lonesome gaze on Kano. And you're about the worst of the lot. Whenever it's time to take action, you immediately do something reckless. Do you know how many formal apologies I've had to write because of you? Tatsuno let out a heavy sigh. But you know, Kano, because of the way you've looked up to me, you saved me. And that's the truth. He sounded like a man speaking his last words. Now come on, see if you can stop me. He pressed the gun harder against Maria's temple. Kano took aim at his former hero's head. Detective Tatsuno! His finger wavered on the trigger. Shoot him. You have to shoot him. If you don't shoot him, Maria's gonna die. He tried desperately to convince himself. I am gonna stop you. Tatsuno looked him coldly in the eye. Do it then. Shoot me. Kano stared right back. He tightened his finger on the trigger. Another lesson, never meet your hero. Oh, I feel so bad. No! No! How dare you! I'm so pissed off. Ah! Oh no! That's the worst! I hate it! No! I hate it. Okay, we wanted to see what Maria is up to. I mean, I know what she's up to. She's dying. It will counter to the throng of people heading toward the scene of the explosion. The explosion happened in Shibuya on Ichome, near the intersection of Koendori and Oregon Hill. The real mistake was bringing reluctance into a gunfight. I know, Maria probably heard a bang. Yeah. There's a gun pressed against my back, leaving me no choice but to continue marching forward. I don't have time for this right now. There's something I need to do. My frantic sense of urgency grows and grows. Kanan. The only clue I have is that name. The other hazy snippets that have surfaced in my memory provided no answers.
Please just tell me, I murmur. Do you know who I am?
When the man with the cane doesn't answer, I stop in my tracks.
I'm gonna start shouting, I warn him.
If you wanna find out who you are, then do as I say. What's she up to? Just imagine if she cuts to a tombstone in a graveyard. I know, right? The barrel of the gun jabs more forcefully into my back. Once we find Hitomi Osawa, you'll remember, whether you like it or not. Guess I have no choice but to keep moving, then. Are your memories really that precious to you? The man mutters as we start to move again. I'm taken aback by the question.
Well, yes. I mean, isn't that pretty normal?
There's a bit of a pause before he replies, his voice sad and distant. You're not gonna remember just the good times, you know?
What do you mean?
I mean that sad and painful memories are gonna resurface, too. I guess I hadn't really thought about that. But still, whatever kind of memories they are, they're still a part of me. I'm the person I am now because of the sorrow and pain, too. I want to remember. I want to remember who I am. The gunman directs me dispassionately along a series of quiet side streets. Right here. We stop at his words. In front of us is an old multi-tenant office building. We ride the elevator to the 8th floor, then we use the emergency exit to take the stairs up to the rooftop. A cool breeze blows across my cheek. Sit down there. I do as he says, sitting myself in the outdoor conditioning unit. The man lowers his gun, but keeps it in hand. We'll wait here for a bit.
For how long?
He lets out a rueful chuckle. Still have to wait and see. I decide there's no point in trying to fight with him. For now I have to hope he's telling the truth, and whatever's coming will help me get my memories back. If I don't know my past, how can I know what to do about this Kanon stuff, or anything else? She really does just know nothing. I stare up at the sky as I wait for whatever this assassin was waiting for. The silence between us is suffocating. Finally, I can't take it any longer.
Hey, so I think this is yours.
I held out the notebook I picked up earlier. The man's surprise is plain on his face. Where did you get that?
I saw the picture inside.
He snatches the book out of my hand, and that's where we saw that picture for the first time, of the three of them. Then he flips through it, looking sad. I'm afraid that another agonizing silence is about to descend when he speaks at last. This is a picture of me and my childhood friends. His voice is slow and quiet. We were inseparable back when we were kids. The boy here, he liked to fiddle with machines, always doing things like taking apart radios and whatnot, and putting them back together. He was a total bookworm too, so he got picked on a lot. But I was always there to save him from the bullies. Aww. All of a sudden the guy's in a sharing mood, I guess. Sad backstory hours. I can feel his aura of murderous rage starting to abate. The girl here was the same age as us, but she felt more like a big sister. With her stupid things my other friend and I got up to, she was always willing to laugh it off. When you have to hear about your kidnapper's problems, I know, right? Well, okay, then. Guess I'm the nose. There's some guy plays of like, cue sadness and sorrow. I know her.
What's her name?
I asked, curious to know more. Kosone. We dated when we were in high school.
Oh, wow, but I get the impression from that picture that the other boy must have liked Kosone too, right?
The gunman's eyes widen. You're very astute.
Call it a woman's intuition.
I say proudly. Then I ask the obvious follow-up.
So what happened to you two?
I dumped her. The man carefully slips the notebook into the pocket inside his jacket.
How come?
I asked. I felt it was for the best. He lets out a little chuckle and stands up and brushes the dust off his pants. Guess I'll die? Shrugs. Guess I'll die? Shrug emoji. He looks strangely lonely. I need to go to Kano. Sorry. Frustrated Mina noises. Oh. Okay, Kano. Yeah. I'm a smart bean, am I? That doopy Tatano, that doopy Maria. Is it really Maria? Is it now? We're living, guys! I hear a faint voice and realize that the man is listening to a wireless radio. I've managed to secure Hitomi Osawa at Shibuya Central Hospital, the voice said. Oh, I've managed to secure Hitomi Osawa at Shibuya Central Hospital. This is Stanley. Sexy voice, McGee. A gleam comes to the gunman's eyes. He pulls his cell phone from his jacket and hurriedly makes on a call. I secured Maria Osawa, he says to whoever's on the other end. Huh? Maria Osawa? Is my name Maria Osawa? You need to bring Hitomi Osawa to my location at once. Hitomi Osawa. If I'm Maria Osawa, what sort of relationship do I have to Hitomi? If you don't bring her, I'll kill Maria. Then my captor hangs up.
Were you serious just now?
My voice wavers uncontrollably.
What do you mean you'll kill me?
Don't look at me like that. He steps in closer to me, his expression dangerous. Killer's edge that he'd lost during his little talk is back full force. He's dangerous. Now when I sell Excelsior, you take the shot, true gamer. True gunner, not gamer. Sorry. Just bear with me a little longer. He blindfolds my eyes with some sort of towel. I can't see through it all. Then I hear Kanan's voice inside my head. My memories are like shards of broken glass, tumbling through my mind, all out of sequence.
How are you able to do that when the string is so tangled up? Oh, once you know the trick to it, you can do it with your eyes closed.
I'm showing Kanan how to do a cat's cradle. She reaches out for the string. Huh? She doesn't get hold of it quite right.
What gives?
Despite her efforts, the string get all jumbled up.
No, not like that, I say. Look your index fingers through the front part of the string.
No, I get that. Kanan's getting irritated. But after giving it a few more tries, she finally manages to pull it off.
There we go, she says. Look at that.
Seeing her innocent little smile bolsters my own spirits.
That's neat. Thanks for teaching me. Oh, it's nothing special. Here, as a thanks, let me teach you some skills to help protect yourself.
Ah, that explains everything. Abruptly, my memory jumps forward a bit. That explains why she knows all the moves she does. Kanan has been training me in some form of self-defense.
Don't overthink it, she says. People will either try to punch you, kick you, or grab you. If you can stay ready for those three things, you'll be able to take it from there.
She demonstrates some defensive movements as I watch. I follow suit, doing my best to mimic her.
Okay, let's do this.
Kanan throws a punch at me. I dodge, grab her by the wrist, and give her her arm a hard twist. Incredibly, she goes whirling through the air. She lands nimbly on her feet, a little grin coming to her face.
Nicely done, she says.
I stare down at my own hand.
Did I really just do that? Once you repeat the movements enough, your body will treat them like second nature.
I do as she says, trying to repeat the movements over and over. At first it feels like a silly gimmick, but eventually I can feel the motions growing smoother.
There you go. People like those fucks we met before won't get the drop on you again.
Yeah! Fucks? Now my memories slip further back into the past. I was wandering the streets, trying to get back to my hotel, but I'd gotten lost. By the time I realized I'd wandered into some dodgy back streets, I was already surrounded by people giving me threatening looks. They must have been thugs looking for tourists to rob. If they caught me, I'm not sure I would have made it out alive. But they hadn't. Kanan had seen to that.
Thank you so much for what you did for me. I didn't want there to be a scene here.
Kanan says bluntly as she surveys the aftermath of the thugs' attack.
That's all.
I'd happened to be right underneath her apartment window when I was nearly abducted. Bit by bit, my memories of Kanan are starting to resurface. Just a little more. Just a little more and I'll have myself back. I'm sure of it. Detective Tatsuno, where are you? A man's voice suddenly snatched me back into the moment. It's Kano! I've come as you asked. The gunman grabs me by the arm and yanks me to my feet. Where's Hitomi Osawa? He snarls. Why didn't you bring her? Detective Tatsuno, why are you doing this? Is that really Maria? My Kato removes my blindfold. The first thing I see is a huge blimp drifting slowly by overhead. Ah, yes! Huh. I'm sure I've seen it before. I swear to God, that contains the virus. And pretty recently at that. What are you doing? There's a bit flash of revelation inside my head. Like a dam bursting, my memories come flooding back to me. Oh shit. She remembers! Last night, I was at a party, a sort of mixer with the exchange students. Someone was plotting to use this party as an opportunity to abduct my sister, Hitomi. And so I told Hitomi that the party started 1 hour later than it really did. I had a plan. To let myself get abducted in Hitomi's place. Of course, the idea wasn't just to let myself get kidnapped. That is the GPS! I knew it! Woo! It's your new seasonal anime. My dad injected me with a deadly virus and I forgot about it! I mean, wait, do we know that it was Osawa who did it to her? Wasn't... Wherever I happened to be taken, Kanan would be able to track my location. What we hadn't counted on, though, was my necklace getting torn off when I was attacked. I'd managed to grab hold of it, but I hit my head when I was being shoved into the car and it slipped from my grasp. I'm not sure how far we drove after that. In my fuzzy memories, I recall gazing blearily out the car window. Seiya Kamiki. That was when I saw the blimp, right after we parked. My dad makes me sick. Literally! Yes, it went fine. There's a man talking to someone on a cell phone. Alright, I'll shut her up inside the storeroom. I'll be waiting in the room upstairs. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. The man dragged me out of the... Wait! What if this is Endo? No, it wouldn't be. The man dragged me out of the car and shoved me into some dark storeroom. I think that might be him. And I guess for good measure, he hit me on the head again. It is him, isn't it? That's right. There's more of it coming back to me now.
You spent your life living in a country at peace, in Japan. You couldn't possibly understand me.
Kanon again. So it's not like she and I became fast friends right away or anything. The two of us were too different in a lot of ways.
Where do you draw the line? What would you protect with your life? What does justice mean to you?
A forlorn look came to her face whenever Kanon asked me a new question, and I never had a good answer for any of them. My flimsy grasp on my own personal identity made it hard for us to get along, yet I kept visiting Kanon's place for the duration of my trip. I recall during the cat's cradle there at the table one time when we didn't have anything in particular to talk about. Her eyes had gone wide when she saw me deftly manipulating the string with my fingers.
Who taught you how to do that?
She asked.
My mother. My real mother, that is.
Kanon furrowed her brow. What do you mean, real?
As opposed to my stepmother, I mean. My birth mother died after getting really sick. I was only 5 years old, so I don't remember her that well.
I see, Kanon said. Her expression remained unchanged.
What about your parents, Kanon? I don't have any. They died during the war.
The bluntness of her response made my hand stop, the string still stretched between them. Sensing that we were treading on some serious ground, I heard her change the subject.
Do you have any friends? No. Well, I used to have one.
Her use of the past tense made me feel the worst, and I was right.
He was killed too. By an arms dealer named Alfred.
That's where her personal grudge comes in. Her tone was dry and matter of fact.
Taking revenge for his death is my sole purpose in life.
This checks? Despite the gravity of her words, her face was an unreadable mask. She seemed almost incapable of human emotion.
So, what sort of person is this Alfred?
A destructionist who masquerades as a terrorist. Destructionist? Not sure it wasn't a term that came up a lot back in Japan.
Alfred doesn't believe in God and holds no political ideology. The chaos and destruction is just to earn money in order to carry out more terrorist acts.
Ah, so it's like a cycle.
So you're saying this Alfred's commit terrorism because it's fun?
Kanon nodded. Yep.
That's why every now and then Alfred changes loyalties.
Oh shit.
Just when you think you've found ties to some Middle Eastern terrorist organization, turns out the job was for the American CIA.
What should be Indo? I'm kidding. That would be crazy. But still. I'm kidding.
What the heck? So Alfred stands for nothing then?
Kanon smiled dismissively at my little childish outburst. I couldn't help but feel a bit patronized. I twiddled my fingers, turning my cat's cradle into a bridge. Kanon's eyes fixed right back on the string. A tiny surge of pride replaced my annoyance. She went quiet, watching closely as I worked my fingers. The tension in the room faded as the silence between us lengthened.
My stepmother is the sort of person who couldn't do this sort of thing,
I said at last. For some reason, I had a sudden urge to talk about my personal life.
I guess she cares about herself more than looking after her children. She's not a bad person, though. She gives me weird bits of advice, like telling me to find someone to date, or that a woman's life is defined by a man. But it's not like I hate her or anything.
I think you'd be justified in hating her.
Would you mind teaching me?
Kanon asked softly.
What? How to find a guy to date?
No. She shook her head. Then she pointed to the cat's cradle strung between my fingers.
Oh, you mean this?
So I took her by the hand and started to teach her the cat's cradle.
Hey, do you mind if I ask you something?
I said after a while.
What's that? That friend you mentioned earlier. What was he like?
Kanon's fingers went still.
It's better if you don't ask. If I tell you, you won't want to come here anymore. That's not true, I insisted. Even though I'm a terrorist?
She replied curtly. One who uses fear and violence to attain political objectives. The term has origins in the reign of terror in 18th century France, known as Infanticide. That's me. Trying to French. I can't French. I swallowed a sudden lump in my throat, unable to find words.
We fight for righteousness, but you people call us terrorists.
In the religious sense, the state of being virtuous, free of sin, and observant of the proper rules of moral conduct. Not the same as being in the right, though many people equate the two.
Am I wrong?
She cast a quick look at my face.
But, I mean, you protected me.
My voice wavered as I replied.
All I did was take down some thugs. I just didn't want them around.
What could I say to that? I just stammered.
No, I'm just messing with you. Huh?
Kanan flashed me another slight, condescending grin.
I was just joking. Don't worry about it.
But I didn't get the sense that everything she said was a joke. Well, you must be good at being it since you're telling me that just gave me a lot of terror. I know, right? Scary. Even if calling herself a terrorist was an exaggeration, the world Kanan lived in was unquestionably a dangerous one. I could tell that from the cold look in her eyes. The look you'd never expect from an ordinary teenage girl. Just what sort of hardships has she endured to acquire that deadly stare? Having lived all my life in peaceful Japan, I could scarcely imagine. Kanan tried and failed several times to get the cat's cradle right, but she didn't give up. She worked fastidiously by herself, fingers continuing to shift awkwardly about.
Okay, here we go.
She hooked the string around her fingers and spread her palms. But the string shape just collapsed into a jumbled mess. I don't know, man. Teenage girls are the scariest things alive, not people. Oh, come on.
Confounded. Okay, one more time. You can make this into a game with two people, you know.
I plucked the string from Kanan's hands.
You pass the string back and forth. Why don't we try that? It's more fun than doing it by yourself.
I wrapped the string around my fingertips.
What do you say? Want to give it a go?
Kanan looked dubious. The intricately intertwined strings were like the world in a way. What I thought of as a single thread was now something that couldn't be undone just by pulling on it. I held my hands out, twirling the string around my fingers. Kanan took the pattern from me and spread her palms apart. She made a perfect bridge between her hands. The chagrin that came to her face made her finally look like a normal girl. I followed suit with a childish little laugh of my own. Aww. Aww. And as if in a blaze of sunshine, the fog that's been hanging over my mind finishing receding. I remember everything. My name is Maria Osawa. My sister is Hitomi Osawa. And Kanan. She's a dear friend who I met in a far-off land. She helped me once, and now it's my turn to help her. Close my eyes as I reflect upon these precious memories, all the dearer for having been lost. Now when I try to picture Kanan, I can do so clearly. It's just as I thought before. My memories are what make me who I am, and I would never choose to forget them. I feel almost as if time had stopped for me while my history was gone, and now it started moving again. I'm finally back to being me. Aww. Ooh, and I have to go. She has to go! Everyone, I have to go back there one more time. We have to go, everyone! Wait, what? Wait, what? What? Oh my god! Wait, huh? Wait, what? What? Wait, what? I finished the game! Wait, what does that mean? What is... What? What on earth? It's the end of her story. Okay, so we're not gonna... It's the end of her timeline. Okay. 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 Wait, what was... Right, it's Osawa. It's for this one. Okay, I will... Osawa or Achi. Let's go with Osawa for now. You will be playing her in future hours, which makes sense a lot. Yeah, it does. I don't want to know how people feel. All I want to know is what viruses feel. I prefer viruses, because they make no move to encroach on me from the other side of my microscope. They leave me free, to let my thoughts wander as I wish. And while it may be true to say I understand viruses, I have never been able to understand my fellow humans. I don't know them. I don't know a single fundamental thing about them. Damn! I was so confused when I hit her end, but it makes sense. Just was, yeah, very unexpected. Like, I thought for sure that we... But I guess that... Okay, so you don't have to tell me this, but the way that I'm seeing it now is that everyone's story is gonna end up in the next few hours, and we're gonna be left with one person. But that might just be me. That might just be me. A silly you. Humanity is a virus. Who knows? Yeah, you don't have to say anything. I'm just musing. With Tanaka dead, trying to use the backup passwords for the fingerprint scanner had become a hopeless endeavor. The only remaining means of gaining entry to the storage area was to issue an emergency unlock request to the electronic lock manufacturer. In order to do that, they needed approval from the 6 members on the board of directors. And that's why he was in the car, I get it. Returning to his study, Osawa called Makino's personal cell phone. What is it? Makino said gruffly as soon as he picked up. Osawa informed him of the situation, including Tanaka's death, and the fact that Maria was infected. The news left Makino at a loss for words. Please, Osawa begged. You need to hold an emergency board meeting. Makino was silent for a few moments. I'm afraid I can't do that. Why not? Are you just going to sit by and let my daughter die? Osawa raged. And not just her. If Maria goes symptomatic... There was still only an if, but Osawa was reluctant to put his fears into words. If you go symptomatic, the Ua virus will sweep through all of Tokyo. I realize that, Makino replied. But when the board members is overseas on business, holding a meeting is impossible. Despite the gravity of the situation, he sounded astoundingly nonchalant. I know, right? Oh yeah. Osawa couldn't back down now. There must be some other option, like a web conference or something. It doesn't help us if we can't get in touch with him, Makino said. He went missing a few days ago, in the middle of his business trip. The head of Okoshi Pharmaceuticals' New York branch has been missing since April 25th, 9 p.m. local time. There have been no demands for a ransom, and so the New York Police Department is investigating the possibility of some other form of foul play. What the fuck? But yeah, the Maria's sudden ending is one of the hidden surprises. It is so... There can only be one! There can only be one person! Osawa was almost too appalled to be angry. It's the most ridiculous lie I've ever heard. Would you like to speak to my on-site contact if you don't believe me? Just like arguing with a child. If Makino was deliberately working against him, he'd never know if this disappearance is real or not. In that case, can you please appoint a representative in his stead? Osawa pleaded. Selecting a representative is a complicated process. Even if we started right now, it would take until sometime tomorrow afternoon to complete. Tomorrow afternoon. By then it would be too late for any of this to matter. Sir, can't you see how absurd the things you're saying are? Actually, I just want to butt in here. Japanese bureaucracy is extremely silly. I think for anyone who might not know of this, if you've ever seen a Godzilla movie, you'd know exactly this plot point. And there's a reason. There's a reason that it happens so much in Japanese properties. It's because this is a real thing. It's that in a lot of cases, when it comes to bureaucracy in Japan, they just will not do anything. And it's always like, until it's too late, and you know. What would you have me do? Makino barked. These are the realities of corporate politics. I understand, sir. You'll do nothing for my daughter. That's what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying, Makino replied. That is what you're saying! Look, I'll see what I can do to appoint a representative more quickly. He hung up. His tone had suggested that waiting for an appointee wouldn't be a terribly hopeful prospect. I have no more allies, Osawa thought. All I have left now are foes. And this is, if I picked A, this is where we die. Still, you just have to take Makino at his word. Right now, that was his only course of action. Because if we go there now, we're fucked, you know. Osawa sat down in front of his computer and quietly closed his eyes. If only I could just go to sleep and wake up tomorrow morning and find all of this resolved. All I'm asking for is a miracle. But he knew reality would never be so kind. He could hold his eyes shut as long as he wanted it, and it wouldn't make this hopeless situation go away. Goodbye, friends! Now enemies I'm our new best friend. Yeah. He felt the anxiety welling up inside him until it seemed like he was going to explode. Needing a distraction from his helplessness, Osawa opened up Ayanet. He knew this was mere escapism, but he couldn't just sit and do nothing while waiting for Makino to call back. He posted a new topic with the title Aya Fortune Teller. I tried the Aya Fortune Teller. My results basically said I was a bad person who can't connect to the people around me. And you know what? That's exactly right. I'm only interested in my own little world. That's probably why my wife and my assistant at work got so fed up with me. It's the same with my 2 daughters. What sort of things are they interested in? Do they have a lot of friends? What are their aspirations for the future? I don't know any of those things. Never even occurred to me to find out. Such a terrible father. Damn. I mean, at least you can acknowledge it, right? Oh. Osawa's fingers ceased their tapping on the keyboard as he thought back to when Maria and Hitomi were younger.
Daddy!
The 2 girls would follow him around like a pair of puppies. Their father was their everything. That much was clear just by looking at their faces. He felt a ticklish giddiness at having his girls cling to him so. He never felt anything like it in his life. But there were times where he also found it tiresome. Aww. I'm sick of being the person I am. There's nothing I can do about that, though. I'm sure it's far too late for me to change. Aww. He poured out all his negative emotions into his post. My aspiration is to go to McDonald's one day. I was right not to care to ask. Ah, what a mood. It felt like a stream of consciousness drivel, but he didn't hesitate to write it down all the same. He wanted other people to know what a miserable excuse for a human being he was. At last, when he couldn't think of anything else to add, he posted his bitter confession to the forum. He was staring numbly at the monitor when he heard a furious shout from the next room.
You've got to be kidding me!
It was Kajiwara. You've got to be kidding me. It was Kajiwara, and Osawa had never heard him so angry. Kajiwara angry?! Oh my god. Now we know shit's gone down. Osawa headed into the living room and found Kajiwara embroiled in a vehement argument with the other detective. Kajiwara angry, it's time to reveal the bananas or guns. I don't care what HQ's policy is. I will not just quietly go along with this. Kajiwara had already screamed himself red in the face. You're out of line, snapped one MPD detective. Kiichi Sawatari, with the Metropolitan Police Department's first criminal investigation section. Having heard of Kajiwara's past deeds from friends at the Shibuya precinct, he recommended to his boss that Kajiwara be assigned to the investigation at the Osawa residence. After seeing the detective's interactions with Osawa, he's confident that his recommendation was in the right. However, given the circumstances, he can't help but take a cold stance towards Kajiwara. Hold your tongue. I don't care if I'm out of line. You're mere telling, they'll give you that, the detective said. But you're a precinct detective, and this isn't your jurisdiction. It's not your place to question orders from higher up. Wait. So I thought, Kajiwara really is a real detective after all! Go on, explain the situation to Mr. Osawa. Kajiwara bit his lip in frustration at the other detective's order. Very well, he said. But before he could say more, Osawa noticed that the police equipment had all been cleared off the table. Hold on, Osawa said. What's going on? Has something happened? Biggest twist, Kajiwara's actually legit. Wait a minute. If bananas are guns. Oh god, my slippery fingers led to wild shot. No! Allow me to explain, sir, Kajiwara said. I find it funny. It's hilarious. He's just like... Chan-chan. Sorry, I just got more spam messages for...
Ah.
On Discord. Join my Discord! Not if you're a bot, fuck you. Sorry. Allow me to explain, sir, Kajiwara said. His bitterness showed plainly on his face. You've been recalled, sir. Wow. Mina description. The MPD has established a security force headed with members of its Public Security Bureau to deal with the dire terrorist threat. Because of the kidnapping task force has not yet found Maria, and she's infected with the virus. The task force personnel have instead been absorbed into the security force and will continue their work under its direction. Osawa narrowed his eyes, fighting to keep the confusion from his face. What do you mean by that? He was shaking, terrified to have his suspicions confirmed. I'm truly sorry, sir, for having been unable to help you. Kajiwara gave a deep and solemn bow. But, Maria... What's gonna happen to Maria? Man, I feel bad for him. I feel so bad. Another unit has been tasked with bringing your daughter into custody, sir. That much at least Osawa could process. You're gonna place her under quarantine, aren't you? Kajiwara's lips stiffened, but he nodded. In order to minimize the spread of the virus, so I'm told. No! Osawa cried. You can't do that! If you do, there won't be any way to save her. His head spun. Please, I beg of you. You need to get Maria to me. I may be able to save her. When Kajiwara didn't respond, he turned to the other detective. Please, don't. You can't place Maria under quarantine. But the detective's only answer was to avert their eyes. Why are you all ignoring me? Please, you have to listen. If you bring her to me, I can figure something out. I know I can. He plunked himself down on the floor, yelling and flailing his arms like a child throwing a tantrum. It's awful. The detective exchanged sullen looks with one another and then walked off and left him there. He knew he must be a sorry sight, but nevertheless he kept shouting after them. Please, don't stand by and let my daughter die! That's awful. They suck! Oh, Kajiwara, thank you. For staying behind. Only Kajiwara remained with him in the living room. I'm sorry, sir. This is beyond my ability to stop. He gave another apologetic bow. Osawa felt suddenly deflated. No, you've done a fine job, Detective Kajiwara. It's me who should be sorry. I've made such a disgraceful display of myself. That's not true, sir. In fact, I'm deeply moved. I can tell how much Maria was mean to you. Osawa shook his head. If I'd really been thinking about Maria, I would have made an effort to work with you detectives more. That was all just self-absorbed shouting. A moment of emotional selfishness. And yet, as a result, you convinced me to stay here with you. Kajiwara proceeded to pull out his phone and put in a request with the task force headquarters to remain at the Osawa residence. He got into a heated spat with his commanding officer, but ultimately received permission to stay on as the police liaison with Osawa. Well, the detective said when he hung up, you see, there are some people who are legitimately moved by a parental display of emotion. Even if I'm not certain that I can do very much by staying here with you. That's not true, Osawa replied. There's plenty you can help me with. He looked into Kajiwara's face and smiled. For instance... I don't even know. You find things that have gone missing. Ah, like that plane ticket, you mean?
Talon! Welcome to the Dreamland! How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome! I hope you're having a good day.
Kajiwara gave a bashful smile. Yes, I'd never found it if you hadn't been here, detective. Well, like they say, you can never find something when you're looking for it. You need to raise more Osawa Kajiwara romance flags. Yes! Then a hint of sadness came to Kajiwara's eyes, and his voice grew quieter. My daughter. She had this little toy ring that she loved. She lost it in her house somewhere. Didn't realize she had a daughter, detective. She just started grade school this year. Oh, really? She must be adorable. Well, I don't get to see her as much as I'd like. A lonely sort of smile crushed Kajiwara's face. What's that? Doing this job caused me to neglect my family. Finally, about 2 years ago, my wife hit me with the divorce paperwork. I wanted to be able to keep our daughter with me, but, well, the law tends to favor the mother when it comes to custody issues. The detective pulled 2 bars of chocolate from his pocket. Osawa accepted one but said nothing. The toy ring she lost. I bought it for her as a birthday present. She loved it so much she cried and cried when it was gone. I looked all over for it. The detective bit into his own chocolate bar with a soft snap. So then later, this toy ring. I found it after my wife took our daughter away. Do you know where it was? Osawa shook it slightly. Under my daughter's mattress. Fell out when the bed was being taken out of her room. Isn't that funny? There was somewhere I never would have found if she'd stayed. I noticed that smile came to Kajibara's face before he went on. Aww. I guess there wasn't much point, though. Finding it after she was already gone. The man had lost his daughter, so I couldn't help but sympathize. He was someone he could really talk to. He was sure of that much now. Aww. Detective, I apologize. I've kept things from you because I was worried that they involved classified corporate information. Oh? Kajibara's eyes glimmered with interest. Earlier today, I received some emails. They could be pertinent to the case. Would you mind letting me see them? So I shook it fist. On the contrary. Yeah! Friendship! I'm sorry. Back in front of his computer, Soa saw that Ionet was still open. Pretty Honey had responded to his forum post. I want to see! One moment. Just let me read this. Soa read the response. I got the same result. You really think it's too late? Don't give up hope. Hang in there. This has to be Shizu pretending to be a little... It's never too late. Every family has its share of problems. Like you'll never find one that doesn't, I'm sure. When it comes to family, there's no such thing as game over. So don't let it get you down, Julie! Yeah! Besides, I did learn one thing from reading your post. In the end, a father's happiness is his daughter's happiness. Aww. It has to... Au contraire. Kajibara appeared into the monitor. A young girl is posting to a forum for people 40 and older? That's Pretty Honey. She always replies to my threads. The detective furrowed his brow. I see. Is something the matter? No. That last line there just has me curious as well. A young girl writing something like that. Well, that's neither here nor there right now. Let me see those emails if you would. So I opened his email. He pulled up the images for the human testing on the monitor. What is this? Kajibara stared at the monitor as if unable to look away. These are images from unauthorized clinical testing of an antiviral drug I developed, carried out by my company without my knowledge. Images of... Sorry, what was that? The detective frowned at the unfamiliar terminology. In simple terms, the antiviral is a wonder drug to combat the Ua virus. Hold on. Maria is infected with the Ua virus, isn't that right? Yes. Ua is a species of virus discovered in South Africa relatively recently. Roughly 12 hours after infection. Patients develop a cough, then a fever, then begin vomiting, and ultimately begin to bleed uncontrollably from all over, resulting in death. The mortality rate is... Soa was reluctant to say it. Kajibara held his breath, waiting. It's nearly 100%. Kajibara shuddered. But wait, he said after a moment. If you have this wonder drug, then Maria... Soa shook his head. Without Tanaka, I have no means of getting it out of the lab. Kajibara's frown deepened. I see. It may not be much to go on, but I think we can put together at least one piece of our little mystery here. Mystery! Something difficult or impossible to explain. An enigma. You see plenty of books titled The Mystery of Such and Such, or The Secret of Whatever on bookstore shelves, but when you read them, you're invariably disappointed by the mystery not being that mysterious after all. I love this fourth wall breaking voice, like, they really have a lot of opinions about shit. And I agree, sometimes the mystery wasn't as exciting as you thought, and you're like, fuck, that's boring. Come on. Damn it. Dilly doodly dang it, you know. Dilly doodly dally. Some findings the mysterious thing is setting and what's behind it. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it depends on, like, I think mystery novels, it has to work to sort of unravel it in an exciting way. I think the moment that I think it's like, boring is like, when you're going through a mystery story and the way that it's revealed is just like, it feels like bullshit, if that makes sense. Like, if it's like outrageous, it's funny, right? And if it's realistic, you get that, aha, I knew it, you know, like that kind of catharsis of that, like, I knew it, I had the evidence together and shit. And then you have the ones that are just like, that makes no sense, I don't like that. Remember when 13 Sentinels basically piles up so mystery on top of the other that is such a good, yeah, exactly, like, that one's basic enough to keep you on your toes. Pardon me one moment. Oh, oops, I almost closed down OBS on accident. Sorry about that. Pardon me one moment. Kajirada inspected the email address at the center A, then brought up the mail header. You don't see email addresses like this much. It's seemingly from a foreign country, but that may be fake. You can tell that just in the email? The detective flashed a little grin. Take a look here. So if we just do this, and then this. His fingers flew over the keyboard, calling up the header details, signaling out the received from field. A set of 4 numbers at the bottom is the center's IP address. Think of it as an ordinarily hidden location marker of sorts. As he spoke, the detective pulled up a website called IP Station, where you can see the RGB. He copied and then pasted a set of 4 numbers and pressed the enter key. The monitor showed the name of a provider, connection method, and other such details. A vendor that provides an internet connection service. A typical internet connection requires a dedicated line. Customers who do not already have one must make contact for one with the provider. When the provider establishes your connection to the internet, you are assigned an identifying number called an IP address. Yeah. Sawa couldn't make heads or tails of most of it, but one thing drew his eye. Access point Shibuya Ward, Tokyo. Hachiwara went to the emails programs option and checked the server info for Osawa's connection. Deep furrows formed in his forehead. This is the same provider that you used, Mr. Osawa. What does that mean? It was sent from your... What kind of internet connection do you have here at your house? What sort? Well, it's plugged in over there, but... Osawa pointed at the router. And does everyone in your family use that same line? Yes, I think so. Hachiwara opened a command prompt, then typed IP config. Ooh. Look at that! He's doing the internet strats! Sorry. A literal prompt for users to issue computer control commands via keyboard instead of mouse, also frequently used to refer to the window or program allowing for such. Okay, so, if the same numbers we saw before pop up here, that's a bad sign. Oh? Super Hacker Osawa Daru. Osawa started the monitor. Hachiwara pressed enter and a blank window covered in white alphanumeric characters appeared. What the heck? Hachiwara muttered under his breath. Wait, what's going on? It was sent from inside the house. Explain simply so that I can understand. Faking an email address is simple enough, but the typical person wouldn't be able to fake an IP. It's very likely that these emails were sent from another computer inside this house. Osawa had to stifle a gasp. The emails had been sent from his own house at around 11 o'clock that morning. Since Osawa hadn't sent them himself, that left only one possible culprit. Yeah! She was the only one here! Suddenly his phone rang, nearly startling him out of his seat. Makino's name showed on the incoming call display. Ayaya! Osawa quickly picked up. Is there an update on the emergency board meeting? He blurted. Makino's voice was quiet as sincere. I tried pulling whatever strings I could, but to no avail. I'm afraid holding a board meeting today just won't be possible. The phone fell from Osawa's hand. His only possible means of saving Maria was now gone. Calm down, Alpha. This isn't good. This isn't good! No! Ugh! I'm so mad. Oh, how dare you! Dare you do this to me? Oh, I'm so mad. Sorry. Ah! Ah! I realize we have not seen Achi even once today. Wait, who are we even missing at this point? Maria's done, Osawa's done. Minorikawa is not done. Okay. Okay, I'll try to finish off Minorikawa. Might as well. Let's see what happens to me. Who's Achi? Who knows Achi? I don't know Achi. Who cares? Hey, bro. I'm sorry. I'm leaving now. I need to go fix my life. Bye. Good day, sir. Minorikawa looked around. He noticed a taxi. Our man, our boy, he's here. I'm sorry. I'm just skipping it through a little bit since we've already done this. We're gonna go to publishing, and we're gonna figure out that Toyama did in fact not passed away. Probably. I mean, I don't know if he died of other stuff, but he definitely didn't die in the minivan explosion. He might be dead from other reasons, but, I guess we'll see. I love Kimisuka so much, he's like the best. Like, oh my god. Oh my god. Like, he's the best! I do be tired. Oh gee. Oh jeebus. I do be sleepy. So we're taking 10 minutes on the dot. Thanks, Minorikawa. Let's fasten you and bin and exit at the cab. Sir! The driver called after him. Minorikawa turned back around. Kimisuka was leaning out the window and supported him. It isn't called work because it's fun, sir. The day will be over soon enough. Just hang in there a little bit longer. The driver finished with a knowing grin. Minorikawa cracked the ghost of a smile. Maybe his spirits had been lifted just a tiny little bit. Thank you, he replied. You're a true friend of the working man. He waved half-heartedly, then headed into the building. Killed by watching back in me. Yeah. Killed by bad memes.
Mr. Mina!
Chiaki threw herself at him as soon as he opened the door to the editing office. News of the explosion was playing on the television. Minorikawa marched straight to his desk and opened up his laptop. While it booted up, he tried to get a handle on the current situation. Where are the folks from the loan company? He asked.
They're here, Chiaki said. I have them waiting downstairs.
Did they know Toyama's dead?
I'm sorry. I couldn't let that slip.
What about Hana?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard from her since she called earlier.
With a tiny sigh, Minorikawa started typing at his laptop. It was a miracle. His 6 pages of the copy were nearly wrapped up. Still, he needed to do whatever it took to see this job through to the end. That would serve as his final tribute to Toyama's memory. He loaded his copy into the DTP software in order to set the layout. Bit by bit, actual magazine articles began to take shape. Then the editing department doors swung open. Hey! Snarled the young man who barged in first. He kicked over a stack of books. How long are you gonna keep us waiting, huh? It's these two bastards. Honestly, Sagawa must you be so rowdy? A middle-aged man stepped in alongside him. Hey, Mr. Minorikawa, then, he added as his eyes fixed on the journalist. Yep! Got out his business card. I saw, okay. From Takarada Financing! Yep, a black market lending firm that offers loans at an interest rate above what the law allows. Well known for taking whatever steps necessary to collect what's owed. Its business card slogan, got bad credit, but you need a loan. Call anytime. We'll put together a loan that suits your needs.
Vika! Hello! Hello, Vika. Welcome to the Dreamland. Hello? Are you having a good day?
We are not. Minorikawa is not having a good day.
How are you doing?
My deepest sympathies about Mr. Toyama. However, I'm afraid that we do need to give us back the money we loaned.
I am doing pretty good.
This game is a lot of fun. If not ruining my life, but it's definitely fun. Like next month's issue of 4-star General Gossip is definitely coming out. Couldn't you please wait for the repayment until we have funds for those sale? Minorikawa asked. That's exactly what Toyama's plan had been, after all. Well, these only aren't monsters. As the magazine is going to be making you money, we wouldn't mind delaying it another month. You only mean it? Chiaki chirped. To clarify, that would be the case if Toyama were still alive. Releasing the next issue is all well and good, but with Toyama gone, so is the company. They'll make full repayment of what we owed impossible, I expect. What do you want us to do? Minorikawa asked coldly. How about we just cut to the chase? Growled the younger man, Sagawa. Wait, he has a black business card. Does this mean he works for a black... Yeah, he works for the black market. Dun dun dun! Dig out your ears and listen up. Chiaki recoiled in a panic, and Minorikawa held up an interposing hand. Knock it off, he said. You're scaring the young lady. A thin smile came to Osa's face. All you want to know is where Mr. Toyama's daughter is. Yeah, that's right, Sagawa said. Tell us where the girl is. No way! Chiaki squeaked in present. Hana's just a little kid. She doesn't have any responsibility to pay back the... Osa didn't let her finish. We're aware of that. Nevertheless, we'd still like to know where she is. The law didn't matter right now. Guys like this had all sorts of ways of wringing money out of people. It's clear from the looks on their faces that Osa and Sagawa had some wicked scheme up their sleeves. No way! Unless, of course, you would prefer to take in Toyama's debts, Mr. Minorikawa. You're quite the accomplished reporter, after all. Take on his debts, huh? Minorukawa didn't know how much Toyama had borrowed, but it only took one look at those guys to tell him it was no small sum. How about it? Osu asked. The way you line Scuba as a Scuba, I'm sure you'll be able to repay us in full before you die. Minorukawa fiercely returned his stare. I don't know. I'll consider it. Could you give me some time? Chiaki went pale at Minorukawa's response.
No! How can you even think about taking their offer?
She cried. Sagawa stepped in, drowning her out. No way! We waited long enough. Give us your answer now. Yes or no? What's it gonna be? No. Just calm down. Also chided. He said that he'd consider it. That's a step in the right direction. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Minorukawa? Ah, sure. I suppose we can wait at least a little while longer. Minorukawa had hoped to put them off for several days at least, but it didn't look like that was gonna happen. The two men from Takarada Financing plunked themselves down on the editing department sofa.
Mr. Mino, you're not actually gonna take on that debt, are you?
Chiaki asked quietly. Minorukawa sat at his desk looking over the copy he'd written. It's none of your concern, he said. What I need to know is, how's your piece on the street interviews coming?
But, I mean, those guys said it doesn't matter if the issue comes out or not.
Don't be ridiculous! When a professional agrees to take on a job, they see through to the end. Chiaki took his point and scampered to grab the printout of her copy. Minorukawa gave it a quick once-over. He saw immediately that the piece was lacking in structure. He then read the article a second time, checking for the finer details. Several off-theme sentences jumped out at him. This is no good. Rewrite it. He was the printout back at Chiaki.
Yes, sir.
She bowed her head and retreated to another desk.
Wah! Mika! Oh my god, you didn't have to. Thank you so much for the sub! Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Blessed. I love the emote crazies, but I do think that maybe it's a bit too long. I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. I love you. You're the greatest. I hope you enjoy the emotes.
As he was still on, unused broadcaster's voice suddenly broke through the silence as well as Minorukawa's concentration. We're live on the scene now, where an explosion in Shibuya has... Minorukawa gazed blankly at the screen. He found his mind drifting to a particular memory of Toyama. The door looked like it might fall apart any moment, but Minorukawa didn't care. He pounded it on it as hard as he could.
Love you too. Thank you so much for the sub.
The Toyama nameplate popped off and fell to the floor. It was hard to believe this dilapidated apartment was the home of a newspaper editor who had worked his way up from reporter. Hey, Toyama, get your ass out here! At the sound of Minorukawa's angry shouting, other tenants on the floor poked their heads out of their rooms to stare. He paid them no heed, continuing to call out. Eventually, Toyama opened the door, dressed in his sweats and undershirt. Quiet down, you moron, he said. Come on in. You tendered your letter of resignation to the paper. Minorukawa sat cross-legged on the tatami-covered floor. Tell me why! Toyama quirked a lopsided grin. You don't want to know why I quit, huh? Alright, lean in close. Minorukawa peered at him dubiously. Huh, why? I don't want anyone overhearing this. Resigned, Minorukawa leaned forward and turned his right ear towards Toyama. The man's breath against his cheek was pretty unsettling. At first, he had trouble concentrating on Toyama's story, but when the older man got to the crux of the matter, he found himself listening with rapt attention. By the time Toyama finished, Minorukawa was unable to suppress his shock. You're starting your own publishing company? That's so loud, damn it! Toyama shushed him with a finger on his lips. He looked around warily, as if there might be spies in his own apartment. He had the idea. She retreated and made that little noise as she did it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
What are you doing for your distributor account? All booksellers were required to use a wholesale distributor to circulate their publications. Tell you why? Well, you see, you're on my fire. My one To do business with such a distributor, a publisher needed a specialized distributor account. They're not gonna let a company with no track record open a new account with a distributor. I'm sure you must realize that. Toyama grinned, a proud gleam in his eyes. I know. That's why I bought one. You bought one? A ghost account belonging to a publisher that went bankrupt. Distributor accounts could go for tens of millions of yen. There's no way Toyama could afford that on his severance pay alone. He must have taken out a loan in order to make the purchase. But the publishing industry was in a slump nowadays. People just weren't buying books much anymore. Starting up a new publishing company was a beyond risky endeavor. I know, right? I've already decided on the name for my company, Minorikawa. Jima's face was positively beaming. Get this! Heaven Publishing! Heaven? That sounds fatalistic. The idea is that people who work for me will feel like they're in paradise. While his twitching about keeping quiet, Toyama was now exclaiming pretty loudly himself. I mean, I can appreciate your willingness to take the risk, but surely your wife must have had objections, Minorikawa said. Toyama fell silent. He went and opened up the refrigerator. Minorikawa took a peek inside. The shelves were mournfully bare, holding a little beside beer cans and drinking snacks. The missus left me. Took her daughter with her. The scant few words painted the picture clearly enough. Toyama grabbed a can of beer and tossed it to his guest. But no more sob stories, he went on. Asahi! He briskly cracked open his own can of beer. Weak foam bubbled from the top. Cheers, Minorikawa, to Heaven Publishing's big debut! Cast everything aside and was striving for a new beginning. If the man had braced himself with the challenge, it wasn't Minorikawa's place to tell him he was making a mistake. Even if it was an uphill battle, he had no chance of winning. Little chance of winning, not no chance. I was making it worse than it was. Jesus. Congrats, Mr. Toyama. Minorikawa pulled the tab on his beer can. Cheers! Two of them clacked their cans together. Cheers, bro! Let's go. Oh yeah. 1 year had passed since Toyama founded Heaven Publishing. Minorikawa poked his head into the editing office, a bag from the convenience store in hand. Hey boss, how's business? How does it look like it's doing? Toyama sat amidst a veritable mountain of returned stock, his expression bleak. Bookstores do not purchase the books they sell, but rather take them on consignment. This allowed them to return to the publisher any books that they do not sell. The books were all bulky, non-fiction tomes, not exactly the sort to fly off the shelf. The man couldn't even muster a smile for the reunion. It's been like this for every non-fiction book we've put out. Oh, starting right off with the bleak stuff, huh? Because things are bleak. The only thing that's selling is this gossip rag of ours. Minorikawa pulled some beer cans from his bag, handing one to Toyama. Toyama lifted an issue of 4-star general gossip from atop his desk. It was Heaven Publishing's one breadwinner, the only thing keeping the company afloat. But the gossip now seemed like it was as buried in the red of the publisher's non-fiction releases. I really did have higher aspirations than this, Toyama sighed, gazing in disappointment at the piles of unsold books. But here we are, with our gossip magazine as our only viable publication. The beleaguered bookseller chucked his beer.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
Minorikawa was startled to hear a young child's voice. He turned around to see a little girl nestled between the stacks of returned stock. That's my daughter, Hana, Toyama said. This is complicated, but she's living with me now. I see. Minorikawa couldn't press for more details with Hana right there. In all likelihood, things with Toyama's ex-wife hadn't been going well. Mina, bleep bleep, I'm a sheep! That's me. Bleep bleep, I sheep. Bleep bleep, sheep.
But also remember, everybody. Discord! Join my Discord!
If you want to, of course.
It's a fun, comfy little place, you know? Everybody welcome to hang out in my Discord. Thank you.
Go on, introduce yourself, Toyama said. This is one of Daddy's work friends. Hana turned to Minorikawa with a bright little grin.
Hello. My name's Hana. I'm 6.
Jesus. Does she live with him because she's also non-fiction? Jesus, Yoshi. You really do just throw balls, like you just throw everything at me. I love it. You want some of this? Minorikawa held out a packet of dried squid he'd bought to go with the beers.
Sure!
Hana greedily stuffed her cheek with the squid. Toyama flashed a sheepish grin. You like living with your daddy, Hana? Minorikawa asked, giving the girl's hair a gentle ruffle.
Uh-huh, I do. My daddy's amazing. He runs a company.
Toyama let out a tiny involuntary sob at his daughter's ready prey. I'll keep at it, Toyama said, looking into his daughter's smiling face. Hana's more important to me than any high aspirations I might have had. I'll keep shoveling out copies of the gossip. And at least make sure she's always got something good to eat. Oh, my mind is like a billiard table that balls never go into that, but mood.
Daddy, this is really tasty.
Hana held up a pouch of dried squid. She swelled in Toyama's eyes. Next time, I'll make sure she has some sashimi instead of something like this. Hey, what do you mean something like this? Minorikawa grumbled. I'm the one who bought it! Toyama and his daughter laughed together. It was a heartwarming sight. Minorikawa thought, a father and his girl getting along so well. Toyama might have been a hard-hitting journalist, but when he came home at the end of the day, he was just daddy. It was only natural for the man, as a father, to put his child above anything else. Aww. After gorging herself on snacks, Hana fell asleep on the sofa, looking well and truly satisfied. You know, Minorikawa, Hana's happiness means more to me than my lofty artistic ideals ever could. Toyama kept his voice low as he regarded his daughter's sleeping face. And from that day forward, Heaven Publishing had shifted its focus to scandal racks, with 4-star general gossip as its pillar. Had that been for good or for ill? Whatever the case, Toyama had abandoned his pride. Minorikawa had watched him become more and more of a miserable wretch. Minorikawa snapped back into the present as a sheaf of pages appeared in front of his face.
Here you go,
Chiaki said, radiating anxiety.
Right.
Right. Minorikawa gave her copy a close reader, then thrust it back out to her. What did you even fix? He asked.
Could you please tell me what parts are wrong?
She mumbled, hanging her head. Do it for her! Do it for Hana! She is everything! Hana is literally everything. What are you talking about?
It's just, well, we don't have a lot of time here, so I figure if I just fix the parts that need fixing.
Chiaki trailed off into an indistinct mutter. Is it always how you go about fixing your copy?
Yes.
Then you're never gonna get any better! If someone tells you it's no good, then you rewrite the whole thing from scratch! Just making fiddly tweaks here and there is what an amateur does. Chiaki dipped her head even deeper, cringing at the reprimand. Minorikawa let out a tiny sigh. Look, what I just told you. That's what Toyama told me when I was first starting out. There were times he'd have me do dozens of rewrites. Other people might be honorable, but his life is honorable. At first, I thought he was just pushing me around, but after rewriting things over and over, I realized something. There are a whole lot of ways you can write about the same thing. And that's what helped me hone my skills as a writer. Chiaki raised her head back up.
Oh wow, really?
If you can get that, then stick with it. Write your submission deadline as close as you have to in order to write the best piece you can.
Okay, I can do it. I will do it.
Finally, Chiaki's face brightened with a smile. That's the spirit! The woman might have talent, but she hadn't realized it yet. She needed to be able to stick to an assignment, even when things got tough. If she didn't have that kind of resolve, she'd never make it as a freelancer. Oh my god. Can we just kill this guy? Can we kill them, please? Oh, how touching, also chimed in, applauding. I'm almost moved to tears. I'll make a movie of this for sure. See? We had only been acquainted with that sad sub Toyama. We never knew there was such an upstanding fellow here who was so good at tough love. Mina, that would be murder. I don't care! I don't care! Murder's okay sometimes! Minorikawa shot to his feet and pounded his fist on the desk. That's about enough from the peanut gallery! Shut the F up! Okay. Hold your tongue, Sagawa snarled. His eyes shone with a vicious gleam. We're getting sick of waiting here. Sagawa, you really are a short-tempered guy, aren't you? Keiakusho. I see. Ozu clucked disapprovingly at his underling, then slid a sheet of paper onto Minorikawa's desk. Nevertheless, I'm afraid we do require a decision now. If you'll just stamp here, we'll be on our way. Chiaki stared down at the document.
Is this a bond of recognizance?
Yeah, that's right. That's what you write when transferring a debt. Murder's only okay if you need an operation for someone you care about. Sheesh, Mina. Sagawa puffed himself up proudly. Minorikawa silently looked over the contract. You don't have a stamp, will barely accept the signature as well, also pointed out. Face it, pal, Sagawa added. If you don't hurry up and sign, we're never gonna stop going after Toyama's daughter. Minorikawa snatched up a pen.
Mr. Mino, you can't do this! Think about what you're doing, Chiaki shouted. If you go through with this, you just wind up like Mr. Toyama.
I won't.
Yes, you will!
Just who the hell do you think I am? I'm Minoru Minorikawa, damn it! I'm going to land so many scoops it'll make your head spin! I'm gonna pay back this debt and rebuild Heaven Publishing.
But why would you take such a risk?
Chiaki sobbed. Minorikawa lowered his voice. Because I owe him so much. Okay, say Minoru Minorikawa-san. No! I refuse! Because I owe him so much. Can't stand by and let these scumbags kill his daughter. Aha! Before Minorikawa could sign, Segawa startled him with a sudden exclamation. Looking up, Minorikawa saw what the loan sharks had seen. Little Hana standing by the door. Kano! You piece of shit! Get her! On it, boss! Also, Segawa rushed the girl. Run! Minorikawa shouted. Hana bolted right back out the door, but also managed to snatch her up just as she reached the stairs. Let's be on our way, shall we? A vile grin came to Ulsa's cruel face as he headed down the stairwell. Stop! Let her go! Minorikawa rushed after them, trying to grab the girl, but Segawa drove to a punch right into his face. Oh my god, Kano. Kano, 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 Kano! Kano! Ugh. The pain staggered him. Nevertheless, he managed to press on. Get your hands off of that girl! Shut your damn mouth! Something hard slammed into his chest. His vision went dark. He felt himself slipping from consciousness. Just before he blacked out, he heard Hana's voice.
I'm sorry, Uncle Minorikawa.
Sorry. No, I'm the one who should apologize. But before his thoughts got any further, Minorikawa passed out. Bro! Can't believe this happened. How could this happen to me? Hana showed up at the office, only to get caught by moneylenders, and Segawa drop-kicked Minorikawa into unconsciousness when he tried to save her. Turns out Hana had been at the police station just before this, trying to decide if she should tell the police her father had been killed in the explosion. And someone brought her to Heaven Publishing, which was clearly a mistake. Kano! Oh, I am... Oh, Kano. Oh, Kano, you... Wait, did I finish? I finished Kano, right? I did. No, not this. Wait. I'm not quite sure about this. Is it this one? I need to change? No, I'm confused. Uh-oh. Because we went to... So we should get into contact with anyone, right? It was because we decided to go to the hospital, right? Or am I wrong here? Argel? Offer your help here, because this gave us the... I'm confused. Okay, wait. Yeah, kind of, so... But I guess this doesn't change the rest of the story, does it? Because it was like, just as he finished this... So I should just do something else here. Yeah, it doesn't really affect the following story. This is like, kind of separate. I don't know, let's try Rumi. Because we've already played Rumi, I decided to give her a call. The phone rang several times before it went to voicemail. The fact that she hadn't picked up was worrying. Okay. Sorry, I did not see that. He was still staring at his phone when he got a call of his own. When he appeared incoming, his heart nearly stopped. It was Tatsuno's name. Okay. Yeah. So this should have... Wait, do I really have to play through all of this again to get to the ending? You're kidding me, right? Only a little. Okay, I'll just keep playing. Then it goes back to the end. Okay. Proceed until you stop seeing new stuff. Just what had Tatsuno been doing this whole time? Why did he let Alcaro go free? And what had happened to Hitomi? Like, this is all stuff I secured Maria Osawa. And what came out is this, you have to bring her here right now. This is all not new. So should I be able to do it now? Told me Osawa. As I heard over the wireless that the man from the US Embassy had her in custody. Okay, just go until the scene changed, okay. Answer me. No, go to non-paid, I fuck you. Okay, there we go. That's the next scene. And it's back. Okay. Let's try again. Hello, Lord Francis. If you press down on the D-pad and it doesn't show a log of text, that means you let it play a little longer. Ah, like that? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Hello. Welcome to the Dreamland. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining my stream, and I appreciate the advice. Here you go. Check is it radiating inside you. Right. Revive that bullshit. What did you even fix? Could you please tell me what parts are wrong? We don't have a lot of time, and we're gonna get killed, so, like, please just tell me what to fix. Like, I would appreciate that. You bullshit! Bullshit! You're garbage! Big garbage. Your life is garbage. Ah, classic. I still have that as a sound. Your future's garbage! There it is. Professional streamer right here. I'm sorry, it's not funny. You know, I still have it! I will do it! Stop clapping! I know you're gonna clap! Shut the fuck up! No! I hate you guys! I hate you guys so much! Oh my god. You should settle down with someone named Hefty, because you're garbage! I don't care about you. Also, you can die, and I wouldn't care. I hope you hang from your necklace and die. Ah yes, good old Kei Yakusho here. This is Heisei. This is Heisei year. Hahaha. They're still in Heisei. Imagine that. Imagine being in the Heisei. We're cool guys. We're in Reiwa now, guys. I'm sorry. It's silly. Uh-huh.
Mr. Mina, you can't do this. Think about what you're doing. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Please.
My name is Minoru Minorikawa, professional bitch ass. Actually did it. Minorikawa ready to spend and signed the document. Alright, Sagawa cheered. Now we're talking. A satisfied grin came to Osa's face as he reached for the contract. But before he could pick it up, Chiaki snatched it from the desk.
Wait. I'm not letting you do this.
Crumbling the paper, she stuffed it right into her mouth. Hey, Sagawa snapped. What the hell are you doing? He tried to force Chiaki's mouth. Don't you dare, bitch! But despite his frantic efforts, Chiaki managed to gulp the water from it. Chiaki! MVP! Sagawa blinked a few times. Oh, you did not just do that! Also looked on, dumbstruck. Guess I gotta get a new contract from the office, boss.
Make as many as you want,
Chiaki declared.
I'll just keep eating them! I'm a professional paper eater!
Oh, you're some kind of damn goat or something? The mental image of a goat eating paper is a common one, dating back so long ago when paper was made solely out of plant material. If If it were to eat modern paper, the wad of chemically treated pulp would go undigested and possibly cause an intestinal blockage. So please do not feed paper to goats. That seems like a paper thin plan. So funny. Sagawa shoved Chiaki up against the desk.
Ow! Cut it out! That hurts!
As she struggled to resist, Chiaki lurched toward the desk, planting one of her hands atop the TV remote control. I see where this is going. One of her fingers happened to land on the volume up button. The sound from the television set soon hit max volume. We have just learned that the explosion earlier claimed the life of one man, while police have stated that there is a likelihood of foul play at work. They are also pursuing leads that this was a potential suicide. They hadn't released a name, but they must have been talking about Toyama. Feeling the impact of his mentor's death all over again, Minorikawa slumped back in his chair, his body languid and lifeless. Still, there was one thing he could do for the friend he'd lost. Fill up a new contract. I'll sign it.
Mr. Mino!
Don't argue with me. I've made up my mind. Jackie feels silent. You're reneging on our deal now. Also said with a nasty. I do hope you don't get any funny ideas about running out on us. But Minorikawa didn't need that warning. He had no such plans. I see. We need to go back to Tateno. Sagawa slapped the new contract onto the desk. Here, sign it! Minorikawa signed for a second time. Sagawa stepped in to make it doubly certain that Chiaki couldn't eat it. Joke's on you. I am the shredder of this place. You'll be able to turn it out to pay us back in short order, Mr. Minorikawa. With a satisfied grin, also smacked him on the shoulder. Yeah. I see. Now that's why we need to release. Minorikawa stood on a deck as his ship set out across the rolling waves. In order to pay back the loan as soon as he could, he'd had to quit his financially unreliable career as a freelancer. For over a year now, he'd been sailing the seas, tossed by wind and waves as he went in pursuit of his new goal. But as Minorikawa gazed out over the vast wild ocean, his eyes shone with the self-same gleam that had lit them in his days as a reporter chasing after the truth. With pen exchanged for fishing rod, he sought a brand new destiny. Forge onward, Minorikawa, for the diamonds of the sea. Pearls! The rare bluefin tuna! No, okay. I see. Gonna be king of the pirates! Woo! That in. Man of the sea! Minorikawa took on Toyama's old debt and was forced to set out for a new life at sea. But was that really Toyama who was killed in that explosion? Minorikawa's future might turn out differently if he hears who actually was inside that minivan. I see. Well, Kano, my dear friend. Bad end. I know, right? How's this a bad end? That was the best end we've gotten so far. Hey, Kano. Also, we haven't touched on Achi even once. Oh my god. This is, yeah. Bad end for the rest of the cast, I know, right? Minorikawa's way too useful. Okay, so... I think releasing the name should be alright. There's still a lot they didn't know about Tanaka. The fact that the final stop for the ransom relay was Tanaka's condo implied some sort of connection between him and the kidnappers. But they still had no idea what his role in the abduction might have been. They also didn't have any motive for why Tanaka would be helping the kidnappers in the first place. By sharing some of what they did know with the public, they might be able to garner some new leads. You didn't even touch Achi. I know! We're really gonna... You released the name. Alright then. Without another word, Kuze headed back toward the conference room. Okay. The TV governor's press conference is still... Okay, nice. Okay, so that's the cue. Thank you so much for the help. Thank you. I really appreciate it, Lord Fantas. I get it now. Thank you so much. I understand. That is a mechanic that's really useful. You didn't even touch Achi. I find that so funny. Wait, do I have to watch this again? Okay. I'm so amused by the fact that we just Achi is just like, nope.
Here you go.
Okay, we just skip again. Skip. Why you know fix anything? Come on. Useless. I love Chiaki. She's great. The side characters in this game are just top tier. Like, really top tier. It's amazing. I enjoy this game so much. Like, good times. That's how I became a professional. A professional indeed.
Okay, I will do it.
I mean, we haven't seen the. Actually, I feel like core cast as they will have been appearing in most of the yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait, I see. Yet not only is Minorikawa gonna hear it and be like, fuck yeah, my life is good again, but these guys are gonna start chasing after Toyama, right? I understand. I finally understand. The fog has lifted. I finally understand. Makes so much sense. Like, these guys are just gonna take off after. Come on.
Come on! We can do it, everyone. Almost there.
We're almost there, everybody. Oh my god. And then we have Achi. I think I should probably go. Okay, let me just come on. We all know this. She's amazing. I love her. Okay. So, I think I need to go refill my drink because we still have Achi left and there's a lot of reading to go. So I will just go get a drink real quick and I will be right back. See you guys in a moment. are you accusing me of? Down in the chat. I see you, Argo. Oh, I see you. Nothing, ma'am. I see you. You sneaky little sneak. Anyway, join my Discord. We have just learned the identity of the victim killed in the explosion. Shibuya resident and a pharmaceutical executive. Shibuya resident? Minorica tilted his head in confusion. Toyama didn't live in Shibuya. Once again, the victim of the explosion was Shibuya resident and pharmaceutical company executive, Mamoru Tanaka. The cause of the explosion remains unknown. The police are still in the process of following up on several potential leads. Jesus. The site of the incident remains an alarming scene, with relief workers continuing to tend to the wounded. The 4 people in the editing office spoke in near unison. Huh? Who's Tanaka? The fuck? Bruh! Oh, that was all I needed. That's okay. Well, as I was thinking about while I was getting my drink, Archie's is gonna be really interesting, isn't it? Like, we haven't touched it, and I think we might be getting one of the most interesting stories here. To be continued, because we don't actually know. As you could hear ambulance and police sirens, railing on the main road. Like, right? Like, there's gotta be some shit going on. It's the son of the more important character. Oh, come on. He looked down at Hitomi, slumped on a park bench beside him. You sure you're not hurt? He asked quietly. Offering her a bottle of water. Whoa.
I'm okay.
Hitomi took a sip from the bottle.
Thanks. I think I managed to calm down some.
Some of the color had finally returned to her face. So, as she began hesitantly, inside that minivan.
Maria wasn't in there.
There was relief in her voice, but also a note of pathos. Hey, everyone cares about Boruto more than Boruto's dad, just saying. I know, see?
I got a look in through the windshield. There was a man laid out in the back seat, but nobody else.
The dark cloud lifted from Machi's face. So it wasn't your sister?
No, I didn't see his face. Just that he was wearing a business suit.
Achi felt the tension ebbing from his body. That's good then. Then it wasn't her. I've been worried. It was a shame about the poor devil who had been killed, though. Who was it, and why had he been there?
So, I guess now we're out of leads.
Tomi murmured. She hung her head. We could try the surveillance center again for now, Achi said. It'll probably give us better odds of finding your sister than just walking around.
I guess you're right.
Yep.
Shall we then?
Yep. I heard the renamed originals to Boruto's dad. Also, what was even Boruto's dad called before Boruto's dad? I don't know his name. Do you guys know his name? I don't. Hold on. Actually had a sudden flash of inspiration. Well, this is a lot closer from here. Maybe I should ask my dad if we can check the cameras from home.
You can do that?
We have the same system at our house. I'm sure my dad will let us use them. No! Don't! No! I knew this was gonna happen. The two got up and hit a friend over electronics. Nope. Achi decided to let his father know they were coming. He turned on his phone as they walked along. He'd had it off for a while, so first he checked his voicemail. There was one message. Wondering who it might have called, he played it back. This is Achi Ento's personal cell phone. This is Dr. Saiki from Shibuya Central Hospital. Seiichi Saiki, heart specialist and Susan's attending physician, a preeminent surgeon who has successfully performed the Batista procedure, wherein the left ventricle is reconstructed after a third of it has been removed. Achi's expression stiffened. He pressed the phone closer to his ear. There's been a sudden change in Susan's condition. I tried calling your home as well, but got no answer. Hinata and husband, like H&H but with an A. Ha! It's called Ha! Ha! Achi felt the edges of his vision growing dim. So brother, it would be good if you can come to the hospital as soon as possible. It's...
Achi?
Tommy's voice was full of concern. Sorry, I'm just gonna make a call here. Fingers trembling, Achi dialed his house. The phone rang several times before switching over to the answering machine. Damn it, where the hell are you, Dad?
What's wrong? Tommy asked.
It's isn't it? Sounds like things have gotten pretty bad.
But then we need to get to the hospital right away,
Tommy said. She sounded as anxious as Achi was. We can't go yet. Achi shook his head quietly. First we have to save your sister. Tommy bristled angrily at that.
What are you talking about?
She grabbed Achi by the arm and shook him.
Right now, we need to be thinking about your sister.
I can't. I made a promise to Susanna. I promised to help people and see things through to the end when something important is on the line. He struggled to get the words out. If I break that promise, then I really am no good to her. But she told me it didn't look like she was gonna back down.
Oi, get back here!
Raining shout rang out from nearby. And she looked around, startled, and saw a boy about high school age bolting out from behind a building in a side street. Several slightly older young men were hot on his heels. And she knew their faces all too well. They were all members of SOS. He got their quarry just before he could make it onto the main road. Yeah, gotcha, newbie! The kid they were after must have been a member too. Let me go! Oh, we'll let you go, alright. After you pay up. One of the young men snatched the boy out by the collar and shoved him against the wall of the nearby building. Ow! The boy's face scrunched up. What are you talking about? I ain't dumb, huh? Interjected one of the onlookers. We told you that members all have to pay monthly dues, yeah? The privilege of getting to call yourself SOS don't come free after all. Achi felt his blood boil. SOS was trying to pull a shakedown on this new kid under the guise of calling it dues. Slang for extortion. A full-fledged crime. Naturally, the direct shakedown. Give me all your money, punk! It's quite unpleasant, but more roundabout ways of being shaken down can still leave a bad taste in one's mouth. Someone who was surrounded on the street by 8 people in pompadours who said, "Begging your pardon, but could you please hand over your money?" Might suffer no physical harm, but would still be the victim of a shakedown. It would have been unthinkable for them to do something like this back when Achi was running the show. Hey, he barked, let the kid go! He marched toward the group. Say what now? They turned to look, their faces immediately going pale. Oh, hey, Achi. Let him go. Achi focused his glare on the fellow holding the kid until he released his grip. You guys always go around doing stuff like this? Another gang members answered. They merely turned their gazes glummies to the ground. Hey, Achi turned to the younger boy. Since when had they been doing this? But of course, he realized there was no way the newbie would be able to tell him. Never mind, you can go. Achi gestured toward the main road. The boy was quick to run off. Achi waited until the boy was gone before turning back to the others. Does Suzume know you're going around collecting dues like this? He asked. Man, we don't gotta tell you that, one of them muttered. That's when she was asserted. What'd you just say? Achi leaned close, getting right in the guy's face. He was met with a defiant sneer. This ain't the old SOS anymore. Not the old SOS. Achi fought back to the other gang member he'd run into earlier, with a malicious gleam in his eyes. That guy. Pretty sure he says his name was Kiryu. Back when Achi had been with SOS, he'd never let a guy like that get away with acting all high and mighty. Suddenly Achi heard a voice from behind him. Well, well, if it ain't our legendary founder. Jesus. An instant later, he took a hard blow to the side of the head. Eh, just looking for some small fry, but looks like I landed me a big one. Jesus. Achi's head swam, his vision fading in and out. Before he had a chance to recover, something smashed into his knee. Jesus Christ. He lay crumpled on the ground, unable to retaliate as kicks and punches rained down on him. Even after Achi could no longer move, the beating didn't stop. His ruptured eardrums could barely make out the sound of Hitomi screaming. Jesus Christ. Hitomi, run. With his final plea silenced before it reached his lips, Achi felt his consciousness battered away. Jesus Christ, that's one bad ending to get. Holy crap. Okay, what's this one? Kiryu's ambush. Kiryu turned up out of nowhere and gave Achi a beatdown with a piece of timber, but just before he attacked Achi, Kiryu ran into someone else. That person said something to change what Kiryu did. You and Jill in question needs to say something different to ensure Kiryu doesn't go to the Mugen Saga while Aichi and Hitomi are there. I see. Gosh, diddly doodly damn it. I guess we gotta go with option other one. This is fun, hitting people with that thing. The corner of the punk's mouth curled up. Oh yeah, real fun. Only a dumbass beats people with their bare hands. You just wind up hurting your fists. If you're gonna enjoy some violence, you gotta have yourself a weapon. Aha, I see. In that case, maybe give it a rest with that stick, yeah? Huh, what for? The punk scowled in irritation. Don't get me wrong, Minodikawa said. I'm just saying there have to be better weapons than that. Something that could take a man down in a single blow. The kid stopped to consider Minodikawa's words for a moment. I getcha. Yeah, you might be right about that. I think I have just the thing. Might as well go with my usual. He tossed away the piece of wood on the side of the road. Don't you go anywhere till I get back, got it? Yeah, sure thing. Minodikawa watched the punk headed back the way he'd come. Man, what a dumbass. Looking around, he spotted a taxi parked close by. Do you need a ride, sir? We're going back. Wait, really? That wasn't enough? I really thought that was enough. Why wasn't that enough? Fine. Guess I'll just have to keep going for a while. Woo 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 woo. Damn it, I really thought I got it, you know? Guess I'll just have to go for a while. Yes. I can't believe the final destination no items idea actually worked. I know, right? I'm just trying to get through this as fast as I can. Wait, what? Does a heavy fungus attack crashed into the Wait, what? Screeching to a halt, Kimizaka and Minodikawa jumped out of the vehicle to find a young man splayed on the street. What the fuck? Hey! You alright? The fallen pedestrian was practically still a kid. He wasn't moving. Kimizaka hunkered down and jostled his shoulder, and his expression stiffened in alarm. Minodikawa checked the young man's pulse, but couldn't detect any heartbeat. Oh no, this is... Yeah. Tears began to well up in his eyes. Minodikawa turned to him in surprise. You knew him? I did. Kimizaka cradled the young man in his arms. I'm sorry, but you'll have to find yourself another taxi, he said. I'm going to turn myself into the police. Looking down at the boy's unmoving form, Minodikawa felt a pang of guilt. No, he said. I'm the one who's been asking you to drive around so recklessly all day. This is on me too. But I'll go with you to the cops. Yeah, I know, right, Dick? The two men decided to head to the station together to surrender themselves. There probably wouldn't be time to work on writing the articles while they were being interrogated. But that's just how it had to be. It was the right thing to do. Minodikawa just had to keep telling himself that, knowing that it was the truth. But bro, wait, what? Okay. This is going in all kinds of directions. Minodikawa ended in a disaster when the taxi he was riding in hit a young man, Achi, who ran out onto the street. But why did the kid rush into the intersection like that? The answer lies in Achi's story. Great! What the hell shit fuck you're doing? Guess we'll have to keep going for this guy, you know? Actually, more like ouchie. I know, right? Ouchie, 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 oochie, ooh. Oof.
He'll let you go. Pay up! Meh!
Sorry. Also, Yoshi, have you introduced yourself to the I'm being a dumbass, to the channel points? You wanna play some noises? Do you? I'm sorry. I'm enabling it. Do it. Man, poor Achi. He's actually, did you realize he's one letter from being an ouchie? Just a thought. Mina.exe, hang different. Stop barking! Stop barking! I know I'm dumb. I know I can't words. Please don't be so mean to me. Shh.
Fuck you, Archie. We hate you. Meh, 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 meh.
Well, thank God he's not gonna show up here. That guy, pretty sure he said his name was Kiryu, sounds like a shit-ass little bitch. Back when I tripped with SOS, he never had let a guy like that get to him. Now it seemed like all these young fellows were ready to follow suit, eager to take him down a peg. What can I say? I've been feeling very Free Stooges kind of mood lately. Yeah, old news, pal. And your business is tell us how to do things. I just felt a confusing flood of anger and sadness that he couldn't quite control. I'm not messing around here, you guys. He grabbed the nearest punk by the collar and hefted him up in the air. Then someone shouted from behind him. Hey, what are you doing? Achi put the gun down, turned around to see Suzume standing there. Tell me just what's going on here, Achi. Suzume flashed his underlings a sharp glare. They immediately took off to their heels. Ah, I see. Raced after them. Just what the hell was going on with SOS? Achi needed to talk to Suzume. Yes, what was going on here? There's a threatening note in Suzume's voice. That's what I want to know. What the hell's happened to SOS, man? Suzume's face twisted with displeasure. You're an outsider now. It's none of your business. I don't give a damn if it's my business or not. When I left you in charge of SOS, You shut your damn mouth! Suzume roared. Yeah, that's right. You left me in charge. So don't you dare give me any lip now about how I run things. His sudden ferocity left Achi at a lost for words. You're not the one busting your ass out here. I am! Suzume stalked toward Achi, his face red with emotion. I've had to work so hard to keep things going with you gone. Do you have any idea what it's been like? Do you know what I've had to put myself through to keep SOS together? There was nothing Achi could say to that. He just kept his mouth shut and let Suzume talk. You were gone. I thought maybe I could do things like you did. All at once, Suzume seemed to deflate a little. He hung his head, hiding his face. And if I couldn't be like you, then... Hey man, I get it, and I'm sorry. But Suzume kept his face averted. Please, he muttered. Stay out of our business. Then he turned on his heel and headed off without looking back. Achi watched him leave, feeling a painful sting. Oh man...
Achi?
Hitomi asked after Suzume was gone.
You sure you're okay with leaving things like this?
Achi shrugged heavily. Suzume said he's doing what he can. It's not my place to butt in. He turned his back on Hitomi. He still needed a moment.
Achi, you're being unreasonable.
About what? He felt like he'd been wounded to his very core and he wasn't sure what to do about it.
You want to help people who are in trouble, right?
Hitomi asked quietly. Yeah, I guess. Achi's voice was glum.
Well, I'm in a whole lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, I know that.
No, Achi, you don't.
Hitomi's tone was clipped and firm.
Please go to your sister.
What are you talking about? It doesn't matter now.
Yes, it does!
Hitomi's shout stopped him in his tracks.
Achi, right now, the thing that I'm having the most trouble with is that you won't go to the hospital. Did you get it? How can I possibly be happy with you helping me if you have to sacrifice your own sister to do it?
Achi couldn't answer that and he knew it.
Please go to the hospital. I'm asking you to, and I'm definitely someone in trouble. So it doesn't count as breaking your promise, right?
I appreciate that, Achi said softly. What kind of got an emergency call? I don't know. This is what's gonna... So yeah, how about we drop by the hospital for a bit? The monsters actually have been trying to hide now came rolling to the surface. We'll go see Susanne, and after that we can go look for your sister. Would that be okay with you?
That would be more than okay with me.
And at long last, Hitomi smiled at him. Cause like, this is where I know it's gonna end up, so I'm like, I'm just gonna pick it. For now. Back in sync with each other, Achi and Hitomi headed to the hospital. Bro, this is so wild, bro. Shibuya Central Hospital was one of the foremost general hospitals in Japan, outfitted with top-notch medical facilities and staffed by highly skilled personnel. Individuals like Susanne with rare blood types were sent to the hospital from far and wide because of the cutting-edge hematology center. The hospital division that deals with blood. Its goal is to provide high-end care to patients with blood disorders, including blood screening, treatments, transfusions, the management and supply of blood products, and other related services. Achi asked Hitomi to stay in the waiting area while he headed into the hospital proper. From the visitor's entrance, he passed by the nurse's station, then entered the cardiovascular medicine section and walked along a row of examination rooms. The cardiovascular system includes the heart as well as the various blood vessels that circulate blood throughout the body. Cardiovascular medicine deals with heart and blood issues such as angina, heart attacks, heart failure, irregular pulse, and the like. Naruhodo. He walked by the first room as quietly as possible, catching sight of a mother and daughter sitting together in chairs in the hallway. The mother was crying softly. "Oh, Takuya, he's only 15, she murmured under her breath. The name Takuya didn't ring a bell. It was the only 15 that got a reaction out of Achi. Only 15. He couldn't imagine anything good coming after that. To be cruelly taken away when one was still so young. Achi could feel the woman's pain as deeply as if it were his own. Oh, damn, this is so bad. When he reached Susanne's room, Dr. Saiki, the attending physician, explained her condition. The doctor did his best to keep his explanation simple, but Achi was too worked up to process much of what he said. He did manage to wrap his head around a few things. At around 10 o'clock that morning, Susanne had had a seizure. For a while, it had been touch and go, but finally her condition had stabilized. However, since she hadn't regained consciousness yet, she wasn't allowed any visitors. That was the gist as far as Achi could tell. What's your father doing today? He still hasn't come by, Dr. Saiki said. Achi wasn't sure what to tell him. It was certainly odd. There's no way his father wouldn't have rushed right to the hospital if he'd heard Susanne had taken a turn for the worse. I'll give you a call once she's woken up. For now, you can head home for the day. Alright. Please keep a close eye on her, Doctor. Somberly, Achi went to find Hitomi on the waiting area. But she was gone! Outpatient's reception had closed for the day, leaving the hospital quiet. His footsteps echoed softly in the corridors. Then as he walked along, a peculiar sound drew his attention. It had come from over by the base of a nearby stairwell. Achi took a peek around the corner. That's Kanan, isn't it? The sight that greeted him nearly made him gasp aloud. In the dim light up ahead, he saw Kanan and some white guy pressed against the wall, a knife to his throat. Damn, white guy! I don't know why, but it's just like keeps saying, it's good! It's good! I like this kind of, sort of, perspective change. It definitely makes you think. Achi quickly yanked his head back out of view. I ain't the damn Caucasian! I know, right? Me. Could it be? Was this the man Kanan said she was after? Wait, he's Alfred?
That doesn't make sense.
And she had to resist the urge to go charging out there. Some amateur heading in half-cocked might well be more of a liability to Kanan than any sort of help. He heard her mutter something to the man in English. We know nothing about
Alfred's background, nationality, sex, age.
Aji could just barely make out the words, but since it was all in English, he had no idea what they meant.
But we do know that whoever they are, they have connections to Langley.
Langley. Ah, okay. Slang for the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, headquartered in Langley, Virginia. Makes sense. Similar to referring to the Japanese government as Nagatacho. I'm sorry. That just made me realize. So, oh my god, that's so cool. I did not know that Nagatacho was a colloquialism for referring to the Japanese government. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. No, don't worry about it. I'll tell you. I'll tell you in DMs later. It's not related to this game, so I'd feel. I mean, I can tell you about it. The CIA has other nicknames, including the company, the agency, the second government, the invisible government, and the Kumip. Ah! Stop bunking! Stop bunking me! Achi peeked out again, very cautiously, in time to see a man raise an eyebrow at Kanan's words. Interesting. That doesn't mean you need to threaten me at knife point, though. He flashed her a thin smile.
It does, actually. Because I happen to know that you're a CIA agent.
Of course he is. Technically known as officers, the CIA refers to its own spies as agents. Someone in charge of directing agents is called a case officer. The urge to bonk was rising. Damn it!
How dare you bonk!
Case officers are stationed at embassies across the world in the public guise of diplomats, soldiers, and the like. No sooner were Kanan's words out than the man grabbed her arm and tried to hurl her against the wall. Just before her head connected, though, she jackknifed her upper body forward, then planted both feet against the wall and kicked off with tremendous force. She used the momentum to launch herself forward, regaining her position with her knife against the man's throat. During this brief opening, the man had managed to draw a gun from inside his jacket. Now the barrel was pressed right against Kanan's heart. Achi swallowed the lump in his throat.
How about we call a truce?
Kanan said softly. She withdrew her knife. Yeah, sounds like you and I are both after the same thing. The man likewise lowered his gun. With a faint smile, Kanan turned her back on him and vanished down the adjacent stairwell. Achi had no idea what had just happened. They stopped fighting though, so this guy probably wasn't Kanan's mastermind after all. Agent White Guy! That's funny. If only Achi spoke a little English, he might have been able to follow their conversation. He found himself wishing he'd taken school more seriously. When he looked again, he saw that the man too had disappeared. Well, he's pretty lucky that, you know... Because he's pretty dang lucky that he didn't, like... that Stanley didn't walk, like, back toward him. Hitomi stood up from her chair as Achi hurried into the waiting area. She's still here, okay.
How's Susune?
She asked. For now, she's not in any immediate danger, they said.
That's good to hear.
But more importantly, Kanan was here just now.
What? Why?
I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. Achi slumped his shoulders.
Huh?
What?
I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Exactly. I couldn't understand anything she was saying. Ellie couldn't even figure out how to get through the Hitomi. May I have a moment? A voice spoke unexpectedly from behind Achi. There he is! Agent White Guy! I'm sorry. His breath caught in his throat as he turned around. Standing there was the man Kanan had been struggling with. What's up? What a Stanley. He's a Stanley. He tried to sound as nonchalant as possible, but the man wasn't looking at Achi. You're Hitomi Osawa, is that right?
Ah, yes.
Hey, Achi said, keep your distance. He said protectively from the Hitomi. Wahahaha. Agent White Guy. This guy. He's not what he looks like. Achi clenched his fist and adopted a defensive posture. Mr. Achinderson. When you seemingly casually find Hitomi, I know it.
Huh?
Hitomi seemed panicked. Achi said, I don't know who he is, but he's not our friend. The man calmly reached into his jacket pocket. Fearing he might be about to draw his gun, Achi braced for action. Jack Stanley. My name is Jack Stanley. I'm a security assistance officer with the U.S. Embassy. He said what he looks like. Ah, shit! Is he Hispanic? Achi held back his punch as the man held out his ID card. Look at him, he looks so cute. Diplomats are issued diplomatic passports and diplomatic ID cards by their home governments. Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs also issues its own format of diplomatic identification card. The CIA provides such identification to its operatives working overseas to help maintain their false identities. Embassy?
What does someone from the US Embassy want with me?
Tommy asked timidly. You're being targeted by a dangerous criminal. I'm here to take you into protective custody.
No! Custody.
Custody, Achi's temper flared. Buzz off, pal. We're busy here. Busy searching for Mario Osawa? Stanley asked. Achi and Hitomi exchanged glances. I know the full details of the trouble you currently find yourselves in. Well, right then, Achi said. And you should know we don't have time to get taken into custody. I'm afraid you don't understand the situation we're dealing with. We're up against a dangerous international criminal here. Taking reckless action is only gonna put her life in danger. Don't be a fool. This is no time to play the knight in shining armor. Hey! Achi was infuriated, but he couldn't think of a comeback. After all, it was true that Hitomi had run into danger time and again while she was with him.
But I'm already safe, Hitomi insisted. I'm only here right now because Achi has been protecting me.
She eyed Stanley sharply.
I've got Achi with me. I don't need your protection.
Look at her, standing up for our boy! Achi felt a surge of pride that practically brought tears to his eyes. If Hitomi would have let him, he'd have given her an enormous hug. I would too. You really get us? Stanley grimaced in resignation. Alright. In that case, how about I join your search for Maria? I can help keep you safe that way instead. I don't know. Hitomi grabbed a hold of Achi's sleeve. His Stanley fellow didn't have the most trustworthy face, Achi thought. Man, Achi's gut feeling is like on point. I love it. But he realized that he might be biased after being chased around by foreigners all day. He's like, I might be biased against white people. Because of the day's experiences. That's great, Achi. That's hilarious. Like, I mean, I know not all of them were white, but it's... Damn, that's funny. It's just to keep the white guy joke going. This just makes sure Achi won't be following his gut feeling with knife stabbed in it. I know, right? I've been chased by foreigners all day. I don't need your trouble. After all, if this guy really were after Hitomi, he'd probably have already made a show of force. Not only did he have a gun on him, he was sufficiently skilled in martial arts to hold his own against Kanan. He'd have no trouble taking down a single unarmed opponent like Achi. Hitomi, I get the impression that the Stanley guy is not our enemy right now. Hitomi gave a slight nod.
Alright. I trust your judgment on this, Achi.
Now then, what's the plan from here? Stanley asked. Not wandering aimlessly around town, I hope. There was a trace of snideness in his voice. You can just keep your mouth shut, Achi replied. We can wander around town all day if we feel like it. So we can play the snarky game, he thought to himself. Poor Hitomi looked distressed! Very well, if that's what you want, I can stay quiet. But first I need to inform the police that I have Miss Osawa in my custody.
Wait, hold on.
Hitomi blurted.
That isn't a good idea.
Stanley inclined his head. What's that?
Well, since you already seem to know most of the story.
Hitomi quickly explained the kidnapper's threat and described the search for the minivan. Stanley remained quiet, listening with obvious interest. I see, he said when she's finished. Still, when that minivan exploded, didn't that make your promise to the kidnappers a moot point? Hitomi nodded.
I suppose it did, didn't it?
Let me ask just one more question. Do either of you know a detective by the name of Tateno? No, we haven't run into any detectives. Yeah, exactly. The only folks we seem to run into are guys who are after Hitomi. Oh, the only folks we seem to run into are guys who seem... Okay, I see. A grim expression crossed Stanley's face. Right, I'm gonna get in touch with the investigation task force. I'll have them contact your parents for you. Would you mind speaking with them so they can confirm it's really you?
Sure, alright,
Tommy said. Stanley got on his wireless and described their current circumstances to the police. Okay. Mr. Endo, hold on! Suddenly Dr. Saiki appeared, running down the hallway. There's something I forgot to tell you, regarding your father. Oh? And she got a sinking feeling. I got a call from him yesterday afternoon, and he asked me something rather odd. Preparations for a transplant? Sorry, I'm not entirely sure I understand what you're asking. Saiki clutched a receiver. Daisuke Endo's brooding tone was more than a little disturbing. No, it's alright, Endo said. It's all just difficult to talk about, Doctor. Please, forget I said anything. There's just one important thing I wanted to let you know. Yes? There's gonna be a brain-dead woman coming your way at probably around 9 o'clock this evening, I expect. Her blood type is Bombay. Bombay was the extremely rare blood type that Endo's daughter, Susanoo, possessed. Any transplant donor for Susanoo would also need to have the Bombay blood type. Since she has the same blood type as Susanoo, the transplant itself isn't an issue, Endo continued. The only thing I'm concerned about is whether the procedure can be done within the limits of time window. Okay, like... So, they were planning on abducting Hitomi that night and killing her, right? But then they found out that it was actually Maria, and it was like, fuck. Oh dear. And I hate to trouble you, but I just called because I think it would be best to prepare for the surgery as soon as possible. The more Saiki heard, the more disturbed he grew. But like he was listening to this man go on about some strange delusion. Doctor, please, just take good care of Susanoo. With that, Endo hung up. But I'm still confused. Okay, so like, I understand that Tatsuno found out from Endo, but how did Endo find out? That's still the part that I'm like my head hurts about. I would give my heart for you, baby. Wait, no, not that, no! Yeah. Achi kept quiet as he listened to Dr. Saiki tell his story. That's intense. I don't understand. It's wild. Of course, that was yesterday, and I still haven't heard anything about a brain-dead girl turned up. After all, only God would know when someone would wind up in a state of brain death. But still, there was just something very strange about what your father said. It was as if he was certain someone was gonna wind up brain dead, or... Just stop right there! Achi exclaimed. Seiya and Hitomi turned in surprise. They were still in the middle of their wireless call to the police. Don't get me wrong, the doctor said hastily. I'm not trying to imply that your father would hurt anyone. What I'm worried about is your father's mental state and— No! Achi interrupted him again. That's not it! His own words from earlier spun within his head. As long as we have these cameras, this guy's nowhere to run. Oh my god! It's hitting him! It's hitting him! Oh my god, that the cane man was being informed by his dad! It's hitting him! It's hitting him! He realizes! Even with his hippo brain! You're doing so good, sweetie! Just rub the brain cells together for a little longer, okay? The security cameras. I'm sure this is the place. Is it hitting him like the car did? It's so freaking funny how Achi was running away from the guy that knew him and was sent by his dad. I know. But he doesn't know Tatsuno. He doesn't. Because they did mention that Tatsuno hasn't seen the family in ages, you know? The man with the cane, he'd been on the phone with someone. That didn't mean anything. It's just a coincidence. It couldn't be true. I just searched desperately for some other explanation. That was it! Anyone from the downtown committee could have used the camera monitoring room. Yeah, no one's been by to check today. Nothing wrong with a little nap, yeah? Oh my god. No dice. No one from downtown had been by the surveillance room today. It couldn't be. It couldn't! Achi began to tremble. Is something the matter? Hitomi asked.
Achi, you're pale as a ghost.
Achi gazed beseechingly back into her face. With just one simple question, he could clear this whole thing up. Please tell me I'm overthinking this. He prayed inwardly before asking. Hitomi, would you mind telling me your blood type? No! Oh my heart! Ah!
Why do you ask?
Please, just tell me.
I have a sort of weird blood type,
Hitomi said.
It's called Bombay.
No! Oh, my heart. The last piece of the puzzle fell into place. There's no longer any room for doubt. Achi found himself facing a sad and painful truth. Why? Why? With an anguished scream, Achi punched the wall as hard as he could. But his fist still didn't hurt as much as his heart. Lepamits Pubule. Argo, please! Oh, I hurt deep inside, Dad. Why? Why? Don't stare! How dare you! I'm glad we ended off with that one. Unintentionally the best one to end with. That's actually kind of interesting. Now I just need to go finish up Kano's because we fucked that one up. No, it's because I forgot to fix Kano's bullshit. Oh right, this fucking guy. I know, right? Oh my god, what am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna make a decision or few. So say I'm a fucked. ¿Por qué? Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. But I'm not sure I'm gonna glitch the preview. I hope I don't. Okay. Was this enough? It is. Not. Okay. It is not. Let's just keep going. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this to end! Oh my god, Tatsuno. Ha. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Maria's gonna do. I know Tatsuno's dangerous and all, but like, considering Maria's skills, she could fuck him up. I feel like she could fuck him up and run. You know? I'm just thinking out loud here. I was just, you know, doing my thing. Doing my thing. Doing my thing. Our protagonists have cleared this section. No! Wait, really? Wait, really? Oh, wait, here. Oh, do I not get to see it? Wait. I'm just gonna try to see if I can actually get it to show me. Did I really glitch myself out of seeing it? That's gonna make me so sad. Oh, please tell me I can see it. Please, 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 please! Those are the best part! Really? I'm just gonna skip through this one and hopefully I'll get it. It's fine. The music is nice. Let's just enjoy the music, shall we? But yeah, I am in great pain. Please help me.
bunking! No! Onigai, stop bunking, please.
You know what the music needs? Some drumming! Some bong! Oh my god. I can't believe we did this. Oh my god.
Well, thank you, Nightbot. I appreciate it.
I'm so... Nice, we did it. We made it. Okay, it's time. Only 4 people left! Bananas! 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 I'm sorry. That isn't funny. Oh man. 17 to 18! And now we're back to 4 people. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Well, I think that's it for today. Wow. Wow, 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 wow.
We are going to raid, one of, I believe, Hoot's friends who are playing a Star Wars game today. Thought that'd be fun. Of course. I think we should throw them a raid. I'm in their Discord server and they seem very nice. So yeah, we'll just head over there and see what kind of game they're playing. And I'm so happy you joined me. Remember to join the Discord if you want more me in your life. And I hope to see you guys next week for some more bullshit. Because that's the only thing I do. It's a bunch of bullshit on my channel. I'm sorry. I love you guys a lot though. Goodbye! Love you guys! Oyasumina!